15th position is hotly contested for those top slots. And there you have it. You have the leaderboard right now on your screens. BlitzkriegXP all the way in the front with 8 points in hand.
Right, and looking at the way I see the points table, it's great. Like, I love the sight of Blitzkrieg leading the charge. Like, I know I've been in touch with Mad Dog for quite a long time. We have known him since a very long time. This guy has been struggling after his great run with Entity came to an end, and it's finally great to see him come out on top. And like they say, hard work is no substitute, and he is a great and a very fine example. But definitely concerned about Lord Sam VR1, who do have games today, but then right now looking at how they are placed, they need to ensure that they make it to the top 14, or we might get to see some underdogs getting their hopes nipped at the very beginning of the budding stage.
True that. You don't want to be nipped in the bud. But of course, Team Mayhem is going to be a team that's going to stick out over here as well. They don't have a lot of kill points, just 22 kills so far. Placement points, it is kind of average, 58. Now, this is a strong team. They're a big team. They're a well-known team. They definitely need to push the mantle today and, up the antics a little bit. Probably go for some more kills, get that confidence boosting in, and perhaps we might see them do good. Now, if you have a look at the bottom of the table, Team LegStump is one name that is going to stand out. Again, 18 points from placements and 18 kills only, followed by Nalayk, who are in the last position now. All jokes aside, we definitely want to see them bring something, because although they have 6 kills, I do remember a couple of times, they were kind of not confused, but I did not understand their drop locations, because they always split up in twos, if you remember. And game after game, they kept challenging their drop spots. Maybe they need to do something different this time around.
So what I can say, I'm not really sure. There could be two aspects to it. They want to go for the dynamic drops. Maybe they want to take PMCO as an experimenting ground. Second could be the negative thing, where I believe that they did not do their homework. They did not study the drops, and right now they are being contested every drop that they want to take, and eventually, they're not able to roll the ball the way they want to. So I believe that, I guess that this break or whatever, we still have 3 more days to go. Teams still have 8 more games to go. They should feel that, okay, we have reached halfway. Take a break, move ahead.
Absolutely, and I think we're just about ready to move ahead with the first game of the day as well. But before we do that, remember all the times your teachers used to tell you in school, do your homework? Well, guess what? It actually pertains to PUBG Mobile as well, because you have to do your homework about the other teams. You get to know a lot more. You get to learn about their tactics, and that is something you can do just, playing casually as well. Go over what you've done wrong, fix that mistake, and, well, you might be on this big stage. But I think, Thag, we are ready for game 1.
Definitely. I'm super excited to see how this game unfolds, because Group A I think they got a 2-day break, if I'm not wrong, because one day we were off, and yesterday it was B versus C. They are back after a good long break. This time they must have utilized and capitalized on how to, have a better result, because there are a couple of teams, more than a couple, I guess 3 teams in Group A that we both were discussing in our pre-game segment. But let's not wait and push into the game straight up. We have Erangel. Game 1 right in front of us is PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Street 2020, brought to you by Oppo F17 Semi-Finals Day 4. Game 1, XP will walk you guys through the flight path.
Oh yeah, and we are heading on the top of the map this time. Normally we've seen plane paths go from south to the north, but this time we are heading from Kameshki all the way, flying over the hospital, just bypassing Georgia Paul over there. So a few places where we're now used to teams dropping, they are definitely going to be heading to their locations. And if I just have a look at all the teams that are playing, Futurestation, I wonder what their game plan is going to be, because the last time we saw them on day 2, I believe, during the semi-finals, they had those moments that we were like, all right, I think this team has finally woken up, but then they just kind of fizzled out towards the end of the day. So I wonder if they are going to go strong, because again, we keep talking about the same things over and over, momentum and confidence, but it is a factor. It is a thing that actually makes a difference. So I think every team is going to be vying for that strong start, but the question is, who is going to come out on top?
Right, looking at the flight path is definitely biased towards the northern side. I need to see how teams react to this, because for say MYM, they need to travel down to Primos, and lucky are those people who want to travel towards the southern part, because the flight path, the zone definitely looks it might end. We make a presumption around looking at the center of the circle, Farm, Milta, northern part of the military bridge. This places somewhat look as the meta for this game. XP, what do you think?
I mean, I'm still going to be an advocate for the Southern Zone. I still want to see some military action. I am still a dreamer, and I hope that I get to see a bridge battle. Let's see if that is going to happen in this game, because, it's been a while I haven't seen a good blockade up on the bridge and, sneakily wiping out a squad. That is something that I want to see. But yes, MYM is definitely going to be heading to Primorsk, and in case they even decide to, head over to Ferry Pair, as we saw them do in the last game yesterday, that is going to be a feasible option. Meanwhile, Zarki, which I thought would be occupied by at least one team, remains uninhabited, while LF or Lord Fam are busy looting in the northeast at STALWART. Now, the Nalayks, we've talked about them plenty of times. This time, they are kind of sticking around each other. You can see a couple of players over here. Mafia and his teammate are securing this building, while their teammates might be coming towards them. Again, it is a dual split again. There you have it. They aren't too far off, but I wonder what they're going to do different, because, it's not like there's no pressure on them. They can kind of play it as though they have nothing to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't believe that any team has reached that stage where they can feel that they have nothing to lose, because actually, just to remind you, we have seen from midway teams do change. I mean, if this would have been the last day, the D-day for any of the teams, I mean, if they would have just 4 games and they were maybe at the 23rd or 20th or the 21st spot, I mean, we can say that they don't have anything to lose. But right now, teams can make it. I mean, there's no, they still have, there's 8 games left, and if they average at even 10 points a game, because looking at the average, I mean, teams aren't able to break that 10-point average as well in this particular PMCO. I think there could be 2 reasons to it. There are less 8 points available in the map that we generally have. It's a 14-team lobby. Secondly, 8 games, a lot of time in the ends. It's just that they don't need to. And talking about LS, I mean, and like I said, XP, look who's benched.
Oh, I did not really get to see that, but let me just make sure I check my notes. And I see the Warrior Within is not going to be playing this game.
Right.
So that is Bhishma is going to be sitting this one out. I guess
we discussed about this yesterday.
We did discuss about it, that whole IGLing thing, and if it's not working out, get 4 assaulters, push forward, and just go ratatatata on everyone. Let's see if that is going to happen, because they're going to have Syringe, Joker, Optimus, and Dungy OP. Now, I know 3 of them very well. I think as far as assaulting goes, they compare to the best of the best, right? I wonder if that plan is going to work, though.
I mean, I guess it might work, because the fact that a team needs a change. Whenever we see that teams are slacking, teams are lacking. I recently had a conversation with one of the players from Seoul. Even he insisted that change is very integral and very important to the system and, the way teams work. Be it any sport, we are talking about a normal sport or e-sport. There's time when you need to take those harsh decisions. And I mean, imagine if this harsh decision pays off, it's better than LS sitting back at home and not being able to play the PMPL, rather than LS making a change and coming out and playing it out hard and, the way they are supposed to play.
Absolutely, and at the end of the day, that's the reason why PMCO has 6-man rosters, because you can shuffle things around if things are not working for you. But let's just quickly have a look at VR1 Esports. Now, they are sitting in the 16th position. However, in the earlier days, day 1, when they did start out, they were kind of like the top dogs, and they have been performing at a good level. And in fact, they did get a chicken dinner as well. So, I mean, I expect a lot coming from them. 28 kills, not the highest amount of kills, but then again, it is a lot better than the rest of the field. So, VR1 Esports, and especially Punk, the man on our screens, he has been instrumental in his team's success so far.
Yeah, I mean, VR1 Punk, we have been talking about this, but I mean, this guy has been our talking point. I've seen him take those 2 knocks, 3 knocks, whenever he pushes from the front. But interesting to see, we have seen VR1 taking drop at Pochinki. There's another team that is not playing today. It's ESN that takes a drop at Pochinki. I need to see how long this rivalry goes, and do we get to see something, a hot dog kind of a situation coming up in the finals as these teams advance. But look at Insane XP, super quick with their rotations. I guess we are going to see a fight for the Potato Hill, as I see AZTECS and FS as well as Insane moving in.
That could be a possibility. However, it looks like AZTECS might be going up on the high ground, as Insane are going to be content with that compound. But it does look like both the teams are on a collision course. And don't root out Futurestation, who are just north of AZTECS. And have a look at LegStump. These boys are heading in for the party as well. They might be stopping in Rozhok by the looks of it. And I think they have disembarked from their vehicles. Dungy gets back in. But let's just have a look at LF. They are still out in the blue. In fact, only one member, Lord, is the one who is going to be trying to make his way to the zone first. And we are going to join the AZTECS as they are making their way to a nice probably a fortified location in the zone. Looks like Pradhan over here already has an idea where he wants his team to head to, and his backup is coming. Now the question is, do they have enemies up front? And it's interesting that, again, a lot of these teams, Thug, are already in the zone, but they are moving around. They want the best positions. Maybe, for example, Team Insane over here, they could have had that compound that the gentleman was just staring at, but they do want this little high ground. It is good to be on top of a hill, especially when you have a good 360-degree view all around. But it is also risky because you stand the chance of being exposed.
Right, and also, I believe that XP, this is very good point that you notice that, teams are not settling down. What happens is that when you have such a lovely circle wherein you're getting to see that, okay, you have farm, you have the southern ridge, you have the water side where we have those ridges just at the coast or coastal region, you can say. So, whenever we have so many good areas and places to hold, what happens, it gives a conflict of, internal conflict in the IGL's mind. I mean, like I've talked, interviewed so many IGLs, they always say that it's very, although you study, you know which is the best spot, but when it comes to a situation where you are asking your four guys, okay, trust me, and this is the place we need to hold, I mean, like, it's a really tough job to figure that out. And when you are seeing that, okay, you made an early rotation and you have so many options, so many different places to go, right?
I mean, absolutely. The trust thing that you're coming to, that is something that comes with time, right? That's the synergy we're talking about. I mean, to build trust is really difficult. To break it is super easy. We've all heard this. But it looks like we have our first knock, and Pokar is going to be going down courtesy of LegStump Artemis. So finally, we are going to stop rambling about our lives, and the game is now underway as LegStump are going to be taking up a good opposition against in Futurestation. Now, both these teams have well-known names on around, and they do come with certain tricks up their sleeves. But the question is, how are they going to engage with them? Because if you have a look at their position right now, this is a fight for Potato Hill, to be exact. And we were expecting Team Insane to be heading there, but looks like they are going to be staying put in that compound. Meanwhile, the circle is going to change, and the question is, where are we going? And we are going to be centered around the farm Milta as expected. So again, the first circles in the first game are pretty much what we used to want. We do concentric circles, and it's pretty easy. I think it's a good warm-up map, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, this is a very good warm-up map, and good to see that, Erangel recently XP, we have seen in this PMCO that a lot of times we have seen Erangel giving such pretty zones. I like until the very end, we haven't seen those haphazard circles, those hardships happening. So it's good in the sense that teams don't really need to stress around directly from game one. But also, just after this, we have a map switch. And what we have seen is that in Sanhok, Vikendi, or Miramar, those haphazard circles come into play. So, it's basically like playing with the tempo of the team. Okay, we had a lazy Erangel game. We did not have to do much. We held a compound, and then the circle kept on forming on us. We got those kills.
Ooh.
But you go to Sanhok, and there's action all around. You need to keep chasing. And I think Insane is still on the go. I mean, like, Insane is trying to pull off something very different in this one.
Well, Puvali definitely has his eye on that Jeep ahead of him, which does belong to Optimum Esports. The question is, are they going to have a little bit of a tango over here? Puvali is still in hot pursuit, but have a look on the left. We have the AZTECS ESPs coming out. Puvali does a little, oh, that was beautiful. He switches seats in his vehicle, rattles a few shots with that AKM, gets the knock, and is now going to run over his fallen enemy. That is a brilliant bit of display over here. Of course, I thought, what's he doing driving alone? He switches his seats, lines up his shots, lets a few loose, gets that knock, and well, he has the first kill for his team. But now I think AZTECS ESP might be alerted to this little commotion that just happened as UP50s, Mamu and Adi are moving in. But have a look at AZTECS' position. They are pretty well fortified in this situation, especially with a couple of people flanking. Now, Mighty is in the building, as you can see, but there was a man on the edge of the shack and on the right house, of course, in the form of Dark Lord. So that is a good flank by them. But they've got to be careful because VR1 Esports are sneaking in from behind.
Right, and it's going to be an interesting situation to see how this actually perform, because right now it's interesting to see that these teams aren't going for any kind of an ambush, and I still see 55 players in the lobby, which means we have had only one early casualty, 14 teams still kicking. We are into the second circle, 11 minutes and a half into the game. Actually, what do you think? Like, I mean, like, when we entered the PMC and we started off with it, we had games getting very aggressive from the very beginning. I mean, like 5 minutes into the game, we could see a lot of action going on. But right now, I see a very Indian style gameplay coming back into the scene. Teams delaying the action until the very end. A very stacked fifth circle. But at the same time, what I see is different about this PMCO is that we see very less number of teams coming into the sixth circle. I mean, like, we have seen action starting at the fourth circle, going to the fifth circle, getting very hot at sixth circle. But in this PMCO, it all almost dies off between the fourth and fifth circle. And oh, another AWM XP. I mean, like, just I think next season you need to get on the battlefield.
I'm playing. I'm done. It was a pleasure casting with you, Thug. It's been a wonderful time, but I think I'm going to be hanging up my boots for casting. I'm getting back in the game because the amount of AWMs that are being thrown around is just silly. I haven't seen so many guns in so many days. I mean, do you realize every single game almost has had an AWM? But what is more exciting is the circle finally decides to shift a little bit to the left as we are going to head west towards Pochinki, and now I think a few teams might frantically try and migrate for that little city, that nefarious zone of, a lot of activity takes place over there. Again, people who are good at urban warfare can really do wonders in Pochinki, right? They can hold those angles. Everyone knows all the tips and tricks of jumping up on buildings and getting those never before seen angles. So that is going to be something exciting to see. Also, the fact that we have all those high hills and mountains all around, it's going to be calling for a king of the hill situation. So again, all you action fans, stay tuned. And talking about what you just mentioned, Thug, the fact that we're seeing a very Indian kind of gameplay over here. The thing is, of course, in the beginning, we know now why the teams were aggressive, and thankfully those notorious entities have been, eliminated from this tournament. So I guess that also plays a part. Because that was definitely.
I mean, like, you're absolutely correct. There were a couple of teams. Obviously, we don't need to mention them, but I remember, some NX and NC guys. They were like super aggressive. I mean, like, you call that they had some inbuilt abilities that they summoned when they entered the game, and then they were just pushing every compound. I mean, like, you raised a very valid point that could have been the major difference, because we saw 11 of those notorious names getting eliminated, which is like makes a huge chunk of the entire lot.
It does indeed. And well, I guess it is going to be still a lot of action in tune for us, because you got to keep in mind, they have a lot on the line right now. Like this is going to be very different to the seeding that we saw, when teams could just have some fun. Now it's the semi-finals. Now we're actually playing for something. Something is on the line. Forget the money. Now we're playing for the finals, and then consequently for those 5 spots for the PUBG Mobile Pro League Season 2. So again, these factors do come in. So they want to make sure that they don't give their lives needlessly. They want to make sure that they try and make it to the end, and maybe luck will be a factor. Maybe third partying is a big deal of this. So again, in PUBG Mobile, especially in a battle royale, that luck factor is very, very valid, and we'll forget about that, because right now Lord Fam seem like they're going to be going up against FINTOX, and well, it's not going to be luck that's going to save one of these teams. It's going to be pure skills.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not about luck. It's not. I mean, like, obviously it's an RNG, so there's a little luck factor. I would little bit contrary. I mean, like, XP, come on. We have had seen great teams suffer because of the zone making a really hard shift.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, oh, what a lovely spot he's holding. And the next second, I'm like, dude, this team just got screwed. Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, like, we had those paths. But then, obviously, I believe that hard work, grind, and skill, there's no substitute to that. I mean, like, you can always take luck as an excuse. But like I said, it's only an excuse. If you win it, if you break it, either ways, it's just an excuse. It's just a boost, but it's not your real, the real stuff about it. And look at this, talking about hard shift. That's a real good hard shift. And looking at the way the zone is out there in the open, we do have a couple of bridges. I mean, like, teams might have a real tough time holding that entire circle.
They could indeed. And if you think about it, we have a total of 4 proper compounds in this thing. Well, 5 if you include Potato Hill, as we see an airdrop falling down with an AUG-A3. Again, a gun that is not very widely used, but is super stable. Meanwhile, the little stalemate between FINTOX and LF is still underway, while Blaze OP from STALWART Esports is going to get a knock on Insane's ID Prince. In fact, he's going to finish him as well. And the best thing is, it was all whilst he was on a moving vehicle. So they did a drive-by, but now he does go down courtesy of AZTECS Pradhan, as Clowny is going to be lighting them up as well. Robin is going to fall elsewhere, and well, looks like we finally have some action breaking out between a couple of teams. AZTECS Pradhan over here getting another knock. RG is coming in as well. Looks like Insane are getting plummeted from every direction.
Yeah, I mean, like, like I mentioned, it would have been very difficult to make it way into several teams that were holding Insane. Looks like in a lot of trouble. Spray God and Shockwave, both the players, it all comes down to them to hold for their team. We have seen Spray God do wonders in the past, but let's see if he can do anything right now. But he looks coming under a lot of heavy fire, and he finally gets his cover. but it's not going to be easy to hold this spot. We have Nalayk trying to push in. It's a 4v2 situation. Let's see if Spray God and Shockwave can pull down, if they can pull off the impossible for their team.
Well, he is up top over there, so Dominator can have some grenades being thrown at him, and they've got to be careful because his teammates Mafia and the others have a different compound in control, under their control, and they can actually do a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Lord Fam are in fact going to be the first team to be eliminated in the 14th position. However, Insane looks like they might be going in for a push. It's going to be Shockwave and Spray God currently up against Dominator as they deploy some smoke grenades, making sure they get cover from that compound. They might just make a push, and it looks like Dominator is in fact coming out because he does have his teammates. VIP comes in. That is a good timed grenade. That could be devastating, and it is. Spray God is going to go down. Shockwave on the outside gets lit up with a hail of bullets, and well, NY's VIP is VIP indeed as he gets 2 kills in quick succession, eliminating Team Insane.
And Insane getting wiped out might change the scenario, because we saw a superbly confident Insane on day 1, but day 2 did go bad for them, and it's a day 3 wherein in the very first game they're getting kicked off early. But we have Optimum as well looking in tough spot right now, looking Razor the only guy surviving. I think Optimum did make a change to their lineup. They got in Sex Leo, who if I'm not wrong was not really a part of their lineup yesterday. So Optimum coming up with some changes, not really working in their favor. We'll have to wait, watch and see. I see Razor walking into hell right now. He
is actually. Well, he is riding. I mean, they are horsemen if you want to go biblical. But now Clowny is going to be lighting him up, and that vehicle isn't going to be able to sustain much damage. But forget it. It's Syringe who comes in with a beautiful M24 shot, gets and secures that kill. Now, Reckoning, they have the work cut out. They have one man down while we join VR1 as they're taking shots at distance. Now, can Punk get some headshots with that Car 98? All you bold action fans, you better stay tuned. Let's see if he does it. But Rage with that M16 is going to be still peppering some bullets in their direction. Again, VR1, they're in a good position. They have a kind of like a central, they do have the central compound right now, but the compound south is basically controlled by AZTECS. So now their biggest issue is going to be Reckoning, who are on that. Well, that is a good for the teams that I just mentioned. That is a good shift. Now, but they've got to be content though, because Reckoning are on the downslope. There's that little ridge on their compound, and well, we have teams who are going to be heading in. So this is going to be exciting. But we are going to have a King of the Hill situation between Nox Official and UP50 Esports.
Yeah, I mean, like, we have had this situation where, when the circle was forming towards the Potato Hill and towards the southern part of Puchinki, we did have a discussion about, the entire fight being about the which team holds the best ridge. And I think, right now, looking at the way the circle shifted, it actually comes down to KOTH until we see teams like FS making a move. I mean, like, FS is trying to do a good job where they sent one of their players to maybe scout a little further. A role I think, that I think Somraj is doing for them is similar to what I've seen Clutch God do for TSM.
I mean, it is similar, but let's see if it's going to work out, because they are pretty exposed from a lot of angles. They do have this nice little dip. Even I'm a big fan of this particular area over here in this zone, but I think they do make the right choice to move in because the zone has shifted further south. That means all the teams have to come in, and FS is going to make their way in. Meanwhile, we have a big bundle over here as LS is going up against Nalayk. Shots are being traded on every single side. Looks like Nalayk have lost 2 members. Another one of theirs is down. Is Mafia going to pull something else off? Because LegStump seem like they're in trouble as well, and they have to be careful because Reckoning are piling them from bullets. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of hit points just getting lost over here. It looks like Nalayk are going to be eliminated in the 11th position with 2 kills. LS's misery is still not over. They do have that smoke cover. However, they are under fire by Reckoning, who are just north of them, and grenades are being lobbed with intention to kill.
Right, and here we see a good situation coming up between LS and VR1, but LS looks like a lot of trouble. RG could have a really fine angle on them. And looking at the way, yes, RG Clowny does fix off Artemis, and it's sad to see the way LS were holding. I mean, like, it was so obvious that they could have, I mean, like, the position they are holding, they have cover from only one side, that's up top. Right, left, and from their behind, they were exposed from T sides, and we have a situation between FS and FS seems to be in a lot of trouble. Both with the last surviving guy going against FINTOX. Not really sure if FS will be able to make through this, because Ryu has gone for a nice flank and got all these under heavy fire coming from Nox. A lot of intensity going on, a lot of intense fights going on across the map. 9 teams, 31 players still into the game, and this looks like a good game.
It definitely does, as Clowny is going to make sure that he gets Dungy OP out of this game, and with that, Futurestation are going to be buying out in the 9th position. Now, Skeleton has a good angle on FINTOX. His Hunt gets that knock. That means Explicit has his work out. Forget that. That was not a knock. That was a finish. He just stole a kill over here. Now, VR1 again in a good situation. Now, they realize there's a lot of commotion happening downstairs. They are going to be heading out on that side. It's going to be 0. Wait a second, Skeleton. That was not a good decision. Ooh, I think he just realized that as well. And he makes a timely retreat into cover. So now VR1 Esports, they do have that compound, but they are going to have to move out as the zone has shifted further south, and AZTECS are the only team in the new circle with the compound to their name. Everyone else is going to be scattered around. And quickly, before I just pass it to you, that position LegStump was in, very amateur.
Right, I mean, like, you know, the way LS held the position. I mean, like, it's very, you know, LS is in a very tough spot. XP. They benched Bhishma. Currently, the position they were holding, it definitely showed that they are lacking that leadership. But right now, what a lovely shot and spotting coming in from Bridge. I mean, like, beautiful angle. He went out in the open, took a huge risk, even though his opponents was at a height advantage. And right now, down to 5 teams of 50 getting eliminated. We have a good situation. Look at the teams that made it to the top. And for once again, XP, point to be noted, Mayhem again making it to top 5 but 0 kills. Do you think
they haven't
passive
done
gameplay
anything
would
yet.
help? Yeah.
Well, now it will help if they can do something about it now, because they are a 4-man squad. But the question, and again, we know that they can do it, but are they going to do it? Because we've been asking this question a lot, and you know, sadly, we've been getting the answer that we don't want. Meanwhile, VR1 Punk is obliterating the enemy as he gets a knock and knocks the fish. It looks like they are in trouble as they're getting plummeted from both ends. MYM is finally letting a few bullets loose as well. And Punk with the Molotov, the question is it going to be good? It is a good one, and I think Octopus went down courtesy of that Molotov. So VR1 7 kills to their name. Skeleton is currently down on his knees, but I think by the way the team is playing, that is not going to be the case for long.
Yes, but let's wait, watch and see how it's gonna work. And because we are down to the 5 teams, MIM does have a really good spot. They are playing a 2-2-man split, but VR1 making it to the end might change things entirely. I mean, like, MIM has not had any kind of fight, and yes, the first player goes down, but Sensei trying to come up with a lot of shots, but fails to connect even one. I mean, like, the problem with such passive gameplay is that once you come to the last circle, you are not in that flow of getting those kills. And you are going against teams that have that adrenaline pushed up. They are in that fighting mode. So, you know, even if there's a 1-1 situation, you're like, you know, your fingers are somewhat jammed to actually go against a player who has just come out of another action. Right now, I do see VR1 in trouble with Skeleton going down.
Well, airdrop has fallen in no man's land. Is anyone going to be brave enough to go for it? But now MYM is up against VR1. Meanwhile, Clowny is going to be joining the party as well as he gets a knock on MYM. AZTECS are keeping Reckoning at bay as Clowny gets knocked in turn. So we have 2 fights taking place. 4 teams alive, 14 people still in contention to walk away with that winner chicken dinner. And we did see Punk use that Car 98 to good effect, getting a finish on Cloak earlier on. But I think the M16, M4, I beg your pardon, is going to be the weapon of choice as we head into the final circles. And it's going to get even closer and closer. They are 50 meters out of the zone right now with about 25 seconds on the clock. And AZTECS still have a good control on the compound, but I do believe they're going to be forced out in Reckoning's direction, who have to move out as well. So I think you can expect a lot of smoke grenades to be deployed over here, a lot of snakes in the grass, and I wonder if MYM can pull this off. Now again, they've lost 1 member, but let's see if they can channel all their older good plays.
Yeah, I mean, like, they are surrounded by 2 teams on each side, a team on each side, and VR1 is 4-man. They know the position for the players of MYM, but AZTECS came on time actually. So it was MYM trying to pick up VR1 deals. They did successfully raise this down. It's a 3v2 situation. It all comes down to AZTECS if they want to role play, and yes, they did. Mighty picking up Immortal MYM. So this is the kind of gameplay XP that I am not really a fan of. Because the point is, if you're being very passive and you make it to the top 5 without getting those kills. Look at VR1, the way they are playing. They are so confident with their pushes. They picked another player up. AZTECS is down to 3 men. RG surviving and once again making it to the top 3. Looks impressive.
And he whips out that M249. He is going to go ratatatata on everybody in some time. It was good the way he was running through the smoke, spots the player out, and instantly just points at him and, guns him down. That is good reaction skills. But now VR1, they look like they are dominating. AZTECS also have had a good game so far. 8 kills to their names. They are survived by 3 players still. VR1 are spread out and they are controlling the zone right now, even though they're at the edge. But Dark Lord over here trying to take a few shots at Skeleton. In fact, Skeleton just got a knock earlier on. So now, ooh, that was a beautiful grenade lobbed by Rage, and Zero was caught in that throw over there, and well, he has bitten the dust. He is out of this game. That means RG are going to be reduced to a 2-man squad now. Now, this is going to be interesting. Wait a second, that was a 1-man squad. Clowny goes down, and with that, Reckoning are out of this game with 7 kills. Not a bad outing for them, but this means it's going to be a 4-man VR1 Esports going up against the mighty AZTECS. Who is going to come out on top? Are we going to see an upset over here?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a 4v2 situation. It could be an upset given the fact that VR1 does have a man advantage. Yes, Dark Cloud picks up one. We never know, but then obviously AZTECS have been there since a very long time. The experience they have had the situation in the past. Let's see if they're able to channel their experience into the right direction.
Oh, that was a beautiful grenade by Deuce over there, getting almost knocking Mighty out. But now Mighty and Dark Lord have the situation because they do have their angles on Punk and Rage. However, Punk and Deuce. Rage is going to be in that wild card position because if Mighty decides to get up and just start heading downhill, thinking that he's covered from the enemy, that is when he's going to come in. But Punk is going to get that knock on Dark Lord, and with that, they are pushing through. They know that they have all the options. Mighty does get up. He does take a few shots, but it's not going to be enough. AZTECS ESP bowing out in the second position. Wonderful game for them. 10 kills. But the winner, chicken dinner from game 1 goes to VR1 Esports. A well-deserved win.
I mean, like, good game for VR1. They deserved in every sense. I mean, like, the way they went out on Mayhem, they went out on AZTECS, they look so confident. Actually, I mean, like, I'm seeing a very different VR1 today. The way they moved in, it was a very confident move, and unlike we see VR1, I mean, like, they do have Deuce who comes in clutch for his team at different moments, but this game, a very different side.
Very different side, and Punk is going to be right on top as the MVP with 9 kills to his name, 902 points of damage. Very instrumental in, I mean, come on, 9 kills. 9 kills in the first game. Can we just digest that for a second? We've talked about this kid a lot of times, and well, he is telling us why, because he always brings in the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, like, he has always stepped up for his team. So VR1 does look like a good side, looking at the fact that whenever we discuss VR1, every player whose name we take, we somewhat conclude that, okay, he has been a good player, he had this good performance here. So, it looks like a really good side, and I'm just hoping that they continue the same performance.
Let's see if they're going to continue. Have a look at Pradhan's damage, 1025. Now again, AZTECS, they had a wonderful game. VR1 had a wonderful game. Reckoning had a wonderful game. I think all the teams in the top 5, barring MYM, and the only reason why I say that is because, again, they are not playing aggressive. They just ended the game with 1 kill, and they lost their players in, I dare say, a mediocre fashion. Because, again, you don't expect that from a team like that, but we have AZTECS, Reckoning, and VR1 dominating the kill charts, and I think it was a deserved thing because they were going out for those kills, they got those kills, and again, that builds up that confidence, that gets that momentum rolling. And the question now is, are they going to do the same in game 2, which I do believe is going to be in the jungles of Sanhok.
Yeah, I mean, like, Sanhok is the map of uncertainty where things change, where the game style and everything changes. Right now, VR1 coming up with just 15 kills second in a 35 points to their deck, and we have AZTECS as well, 24 points, not bad, and Reckoning 70 points as well. FINTOX 12.7 kills, good job. I mean, like, the top 4 teams look like they have dominated really well when it comes to the kill department.
Absolutely. I mean, although Mayhem did finish 4th again, see, they're going to slip down to the 6th position since they just have 1 kill to their name. Now, that is something that drastically needs to change. Now, LegStump, as far as team LegStump goes, I wasn't really happy with their position as they died. That was very amateurish because they were there for a couple of minutes, and well, with your backs exposed, that is not a position you want to be in, and they did ultimately pay the price because Nalayk rushed in first. Now, they didn't come out on top, but then Reckoning definitely came and dealt a lot of damage. So again, that is something to take home. Now, Team Insane and Futurestation, 2 teams that were knocked out a little earlier than expected. Again, As far as Team Insane goes, we thought they had the best positions in the game at one point, which was taken over by AZTECS later on, and they went on to finish the game in second position. So I think, again, when you have a good fortified position in the zone, maybe keep it until you're absolutely forced to move out, because they did kind of go on a rotation earlier on, Thug, and, well, looks like they paid the price.
Right. I mean, that is something very integral to the game overall. I mean, like it's always been like that. Teams that make it to the very end. But take a look at the points table. Futurestation 9 games still at 102. VR1 is keeping up slowly and making their way up to the top. But look at the first page. Apart from Insane, every team that you are seeing is a new name. I'm super happy to see this tournament overall turning out to be a tournament for the underdogs. I mean, new names coming forward who will ultimately get a chance to glory. Look at the way VR1 is playing. 43 kill points, 58 position points. Great stuff. Phenomenal.
And that is what is making it more exciting, because I'll be super honest right now. But when we started out, in fact, you know what? I'll make my point as we just go over the rest of the leaderboard, because I do have a couple of things I want to mention. Now, Team ESN, they are not going to be playing today. Expect big things from them, because they really came out guns blazing yesterday. So that's going to be exciting to see. Team Mayhem, again, they look like they might be comfortable for a top 16 finish. However, we expect them to do much better. So our eyes are definitely going to be glued onto this team. XSpark, now they aren't playing any games today. However, yesterday is a day that they won't write home about. It was nothing eventful, and it's something that I'm sure they just want to forget. But towards the end, now, I'm not a guy who wants to, be a bummer, so to speak. But as far as Nalayk goes, I guess right now this is the best learning experience for them, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we can safely conclude that this is a good learning experience for them. They'll have a lot of key takeaways from this tournament where they have had their moments, but then they will definitely try to bounce back when we come join us in the next season. Although they still have a long way to go, we still have 7 more games for each of these teams. But it does look like at a very tough and a dicey situation where they might or might not be able to just make it.
After all, it's practice, man. Practice makes perfect, and if you fail, try again. That's what they say, and it must be true because it's been going on since centuries. Anyway, on our screens right now, VR1 Esports. Now, that is a good amount of damage. All the members of this team are instrumental in this team's success, and by the way, they are climbing up the leaderboard. I think we might just see them end in the top 3 by the end of this day, especially if they keep this momentum that they have in the first game going forward. A high kill game from them. I do believe it was 15 kills, which again, you did want to see an explosive start. Now, we didn't see an explosive start per se, but at least it's an explosive start to the day with high fragging game. So that is always a plus point, and I'm sure Sanhok is going to be similar.
Yeah, I mean, we have always had explosive starts, but then it definitely slows down in the mid. But let's wait and watch and see what happens in Sanhok as we head to a quick short break, and we'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2020 Indian Edition, sponsored by Oppo F17, where I'm not sure if you knew this, but just on 5 minutes of charge, you can play a full 35-minute game of PUBG Mobile. Now, that is an amazing deal. Of course, you got to flaunt it your way, isn't it? My name, of course, is Angat Singh Chahal, and with me is Thug, who's going to take you over the schedule for the day.
Yeah, I mean, like we have had the Erangel already, and we are moving on to Sanhok. Then it's gonna be followed by Miramar and an Erangel again. We're having two Erangels on a daily basis just to start and end the day on a very balanced kind of note. Because when we see variety of maps come into play, that's when we see things shuffling up and changing. But without further ado, let's hop into the game straight up. We have the flight path going from I guess Kampong, and it extends until the northwestern side of ruins towards the third island. A pretty decent flight path given the fact that covers all the three islands, so team must be pretty happy. Let's see what the circle comes in.
I mean, we've seen northern circles all this time. We've seen northwestern circles. I think it's going to be something in the south, southeast, maybe. I want to see something happen around the docks. I've never really seen the camera around the docks. That is something that would be exciting if it happens. But I'm sure it's going to be easy for everyone, as everyone is going to disperse and fall to the ground at quite an alarming rate of speed. So let's see if the circle is going to form. Let's not keep us in. Ooh, it is actually a little south. I said southeast, but it's going to be to the southwest. The docks are not going to be in play. Now I am upset.
Yeah, I mean, like dogs not gonna be at play, but this circle, if I assume that it's gonna extend somewhat near Pine or Camp Charlie, we might get to see teams trying to cross over the bridges and stuff towards the later half. Although this circle definitely allows a lot of teams to stay put where they are, go for that easy, decent route, and they can eventually try their rotation. Interesting to see no hot drops, no team moving towards Tatmok, Khao or Mong Nai, Canberra. I think flight part could be the reason, but nevertheless, a lot of teams inside the circle, they are moving towards a slow game XP.
It does look like a slow game so far. Of course, all the teams are going to be looting with to their heart's content right now, as they don't have to tango with anyone. It does look like AZTECS might have a little bit of a skirmish with Optimum Esports, but they are in the ruins. So if they are underground, everything should be good. But once they do pop up, we might see a few bullets fly over there, as Razor is getting in a good position on that southern cliff, which overlooks the ruins. So if he's in a position to lay down some lead from that direction, that could be, well, our first engagement of the day. Meanwhile, Nox Official, we're going to join them as they are making their way around the quarry, trying to get more places to loot. Now, not a lot of loot right now on Dax's, just a level 1 helmet, a level 1 vest, and well, there we have it. I did kind of think this would happen, and I think Razor might have been the first one. I did not pay attention to the kill feed, but a member of AZTECS ESP is down, and I'm pretty sure the bullets came from Optimum Esports.
Yeah, and SX one man down. Let's see how they try to react to the situation. Optimum might or might not try to push in because of the fact that they just and it's not necessary that they'll have decent loot. Though Razor does have a M4 3x on him, which is I think the best combo apart from an M4 6x getting converted into a 3x. But yes, looking at the position Optimum has taken, AZTECS could be in a lot of trouble. XP, to be very honest.
They could be, and looks like Mighty might not have a clear angle because, again, this is the first location that all these teams have dropped, and by the look of things, he does have a smoke grenade, however. So I think he might be deploying that. But this is what I was talking about. Now, Optimum are getting in a good position overlooking the ruins. In fact, looks like Bash is trying to move in as he has a teammate on the other end. That is Critic 07, who's going to be waiting. Now, again, this is crucial. He's relaying all that information as to their movements. He's not taking shots right now because he wants to make sure his team surrounds them, after which they are going to go in for the kill. But it looks like Mighty is going to be going in. He might just get a revive. We had a little bit of a black screen for a second, but that has gone by, and that is what I'm talking about now. Optimum are under fire by Pradhan, but Pradhan could be in a position to get shot in his back. Mighty somehow did bleed out, so help wasn't coming as quick as they would have expected, or they should have actually. I think they could have acted a little quicker. They gave Optimum enough time to surround them and push in on the ruins.
Yeah, and I mean, like AZTECS did try to fall back in some, like they did not try to fall back, rather they tried to make some angles. But I mean, like AZTECS is in a lot of trouble. Optimum have completely overpowered this entire situation, and they have taken good advantage of the situation, tried to play around with the one-man disadvantage that AZTECS has right now. And I mean, like I somehow feel Optimum is trying to drag this until the very end. I just see Bash moving in and a couple of other players around. MCYS just might want to get closer around the this entire ruins area.
He could, but the thing is, right now, the way MCYS, Razor, and Bash are heading in, they might actually engage with Satan and the other member from AZTECS inside. Because if you had a look, one of their members, I do believe it was Lord or Dark Lord, he is a bit too far off, which means that Critic actually could be in a good spot to see him coming in case he does come in for help. So now the question is, they do have to make a move, but who is going to be first? Because what's happening right now is AZTECS are trying to fortify themselves deeper and deeper in the ruins. They're heading down to the basement area, if you will, to the crypts. They're heading down to the crypts, and of course, they don't want to be buried in these crypts. They want to make sure that the opponents who are rushing in are the ones that they bury. But I think Razor is going to cook a grenade, and that grenade is going to be lobbed in a good alley. AZTECS, Satan is going to be in trouble as he gets spotted. Well, he doesn't get spotted, but he is definitely blown to bits. Meanwhile, the teammates are going to be pushing in. I think they might just confirm one kill, as the remaining members of AZTECS, including Pradhan, are now on the back foot.
Yeah, and looking at the way Dark Lord is trying to send stall for his team, I don't think it's gonna work for him, and Dark Lord might just go down. Optimum will try to revive their place and will be pretty successful in doing so. Only MCYS is down, but right now LS Artemis for a change going against VR1, and they picked off two. Dangi picking off Punk, and I think one of the players from LS are knocked. So it's, I think, a 3v2 situation over there. But Dark Lord coming up with another nade to pick off another player from Optimum. A pretty nice lob nade.
It wasn't fair, but the thing was, it was actually a little long, and since MCYS OP was very low on HP, he got knocked again. But it looks like Dark Lord is going to be meeting his maker soon. He might as well just say a prayer at these ruins, because he is going to be either going up, or he looks like he's going to be going down to hell. But he does come out for a fight. He's not one to shy away. He does do some damage on Critical 7, but that is not going to be enough. And with that, AZTECS ESP, the team that came in second in the first game with 10 kills, have been eliminated in the first position.
Right, and here we have LS finally with one kill, but still they decide somewhat back off, and STALWART could be in a lot of trouble. I mean, like, we haven't seen STALWART into too much of an action last game. We barely had to discuss them, but this game they are going against Optimum, picked one off, and might just want to pursue this fight further. But they do have a big gap distance between them, a water body which is not definitely easy to cross because it's a very open situation. Let's see if STALWART are able to extend to this fight.
Now, that's the thing about any game in Sanhok. Your victories, your good times aren't really long-lasting, because it is a small map, and even if you shoot a bullet about 700-800 meters away, someone or the other is definitely going to hear those shots, and he's going to be coming your way, trying to pick off whatever's left like a pack of vultures. So that is what you expect to see a lot in this game. The same way that AZTECS were wiped out, STALWART Esports are not going to do that on Optimum Esports. So again, it's exciting to see that, but it looks like they did back off, as the zone isn't really going to be the factor, but I think they want to make it to the center, so they can have a slightly fortified position in the circles to come. Because again, although we had a team elimination, we have a lot more players who've gone down, and looks like it was only VR1 Skeleton who went down a little earlier. So all the teams are still whole, which means those compounds are going to be hotly contested. So they want to fortify themselves and be ready to defend till the last man.
Right, and all the teams are flocking around the center, so I get a presumption that we might get to see some action kicking in a little bit of time as the circle decides to shift. AZTECS getting picked off early again changes a lot of things in the points table. I mean, we are gradually closing in towards the end of games. It's 6 games, it's still another day, but a day for MPMC is very small one. 4 games, quick ones, which we just have to wait for 3 hours before all the 4 games end. So in a fast-paced action, in a fast-paced tournament, you never know when you run out of time, and there is no time to make over your mistakes and bounce back. Right now, VR1 down to 3 men after a good game in the last match, having got 15 kills second in not a good start for them.
Not a good start. Well, I guess they have lost one member. So again, they still have 3 men up and alive. Punk, of course, is a man who, we all know is instrumental in the success. He got 9 kills in the last game, for crying out loud. So we know that this team is very capable. The question is, are they going to hold a ridge, or is the zone going to force them out? Because again, we've said this plenty of times, the RNG factor, the random factor in Sanhok, in my opinion, is the MVP, as is the zone. Because when you have haphazard zones, it just throws a wrench in all the plans that all the teams make as far as rotations goes, and all the tactical prowess is thrown out the window. So again, it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to have to move, because they do have Team Insane at one end, And if I can just have a look, looks like LegStump might be moving in from the north. So again, this particular compound could be hotly contested in a short amount of time.
Right, and I mean, like, looking at the way VR1 is placed right now, they do have insane trying to lurk on them, but I don't think these boys are going to leave this compound for a very long time. They have had their part of difficulty at the beginning of the game. Let's see how this game eventually dishes out. 13 teams, 51 players. Again, we are and the circle is trying to move somewhat towards the south. CXP teams are flocking around Painan, and the way VR1, FINTOX, and FS are placed, they won't allow teams like LS, LF, NY, or Insane or Nox to cross. This is where things get interesting in Sanhok when water comes into play. I mean, like, we have water playing its role in Erangel, in Weekendy, but in Sanhok, I think Sanhok is the map where crossing is most difficult because, I mean, like, the water is entirely leveled with the ground. There's no ridge, there's no height. So, you get to, you have a vision of your opponent straight up. If you're holding the coast, you will see them crossing way out in the open. And right out of the border, we have a situation between Insane, Shockwave trying to take some shots. Insane is not having a very good time since day one. I mean, like, after day one.
I mean, how they haven't had the best of times after that. But, just coming to your point about the whole crossing the bridge at Painan, the thing is, everyone is aware of that now. And Painan is such a popular area that people expect that. So if you had a look when the map was up, in fact, Insane, Nalayk, and Nox, they all headed south. From the other side of the island, from the main island, basically, instead of hitting that Painan bridge. And now they are tangling with one another, as Insane's IT Prince has an angle on Nalayk. But it's going to be, again, Nalayk again split up. It's going to be Dominator and VIP with the remaining members, Ninja and Dark God, just a little bit far off, about 200 meters separating them. But it doesn't work out for them. This has not been a method that's worked out. But let's see if it does work out, because there is an open setting and Dominator and Ninja have a good chance to get on that right flank and lay down some lead. Meanwhile, FINTOX is picking up a fight with STALWART Esports.
Right, and let's see FINTOX picking up, and RG is also going ham on Optimum, and I think Optimum is down to 3-man. Critic picking up Exotic. We have Nalayk going against Insane, that bottom rated team going against Team Insane. One of the very high rated teams taking some shots. Mafia not able to convert, to be honest, but we have Insane holding some good angles. I think Nalayk might have audited their position and would want to approach the fight accordingly. Let's see how this fight unfolds eventually. Let's see how Insane reacts to Nalayk taking shots on them. Right now, Insane is playing it pretty safe. Yes, XP.
I mean, that's exactly. I was just going to say the same thing. It looks like, Dominator gets a shot on Shockwave from distance. Now, Shockwave, that's what I was just going to say. He was making his way back from that rock towards that tree. And I was like, that is going to be a little bit of a risky maneuver, because he should have held that rock. That was a good position, because Nalayk are not yet done. There will be a battle for this hill, because Insane, if they do decide to head the other direction, well, there's a river in the other direction which they're going to have to cross. And beyond that river, we have Nox Official, who they already tangled with. But forget that, because IT Prince is going to be quick with his trigger as he pulls that trigger, gets a knock, and finishes VIP from Nalayk. So now, in fact, the tables are kind of being turned, but Dominator is going to make sure he finishes Shockwave. So again, a little bit of a trade-off between the two teams. Both teams are now down to 3-man, and looks like IT Prince is going to come under heavy fire from VR1 Esports. And you can't forget Nox Official on your screens to the left as well. So I think the best case scenario for them is they should head down to that compound, which I think might be the right call, because there are too many teams heading for this hill.
Yeah, I mean, like, every team, like you said, they should go for that compound and they should try to take a safe passage. Right now, the circle is such that you never really know where it might end up. It could go extremely southwest or might just end towards the water part around Pioneer. But we'll have to wait, watch, and see. Nice split coming in from Insane with IT Prince retaining his position up, not trying to ensure that he has a clear vision across the teams coming in. We have the circle closing in. This could be interesting. Let's wait, watch, and see. And look at LS. LS is trying to play it so safe. They are still holding up north near boot camp. This circle might just end towards the very center or might move further south. Let's see. Okay.
It's going to be heading towards Painan. And look at Painan, it's empty.
Yeah, I mean, like, whenever we want a team to win, just make me say that it should lose. Whatever I say, the exact opposite happens. I mean, the caster's curse thing is so strong.
I want the
in my
best
case.
team to win. I don't want any curse helping anyone.
Yeah.
We are omitting that sentence. I'm going to make sure that I do not say any team name. I'm not going to make it coming out of your mouth. Forget that. But we do have Reckoning right now. They are still engaged with the enemy outside the zone. In fact, the blue zone is going to be encroaching on them ever so slowly. They're still kind of picking a fight with Optimum Esports. However, it looks like if you have a look at the minimap, they are kind of moving a little bit to the south, and now they're migrating due east towards the zone, as is Optimum. They're heading north, and then they're going to make their way to the zone. So I think both these teams are disengaging from this fight, which is a good call, because in about 35 seconds, the zone is going to be moving in, and you want to make sure that you don't lose any people unnecessarily before the final fight. Meanwhile, Cloak has been knocked down by Nox officials Daxos, and looks like MYM are finding themselves in a position they have been pretty accustomed to now.
Right, I mean, like MYM has, I mean, making it to the circle has never been a task for MYM. What is difficult for them right now is that, getting those kills, converting those kills. Because, see, I'm fine with MYM because the way they are playing, they'll definitely make it to the top 14 and qualify for the finals. But then it's all about the top 5. And such kind of gameplay, it's not really going to help them. And look at the position.
They're getting surrounded.
Yeah, they are getting surrounded, and up 50 is taking a spot. MYM will have no place to hide. And right now, what I see is Nox. Oh, look at that was a pretty good knock coming from UP50 Circle. And we talked about an Immortal getting finished off. Octopus might want to push in further, and that's GG for Mayhem. And I mean, like.
Again, Thug, the same situation. They find themselves all clumped behind one rock, about 10, 20, maybe 100 smoke grenades deployed, and then they get shot at from every single direction. Now I know whoever's watching right now, you might be like, I'm exaggerating. Go back to yesterday's game. Watch every single time how they got eliminated. And I even said the same thing then. I mean, I'm not trying to call them out, but my question is, what is happening? Why are they finding themselves in that pickle time in and time out?
And I mean, like, why are they not taking those fights? You are going against teams you haven't even heard of, you don't even know about, and you're like, you guys were I think this team, MYM was at the 3rd spot in the recently concluded PMIS. They are a very good side. They have Cloak leading their team, who did a very good job for their team. But looks like with the absence of Belief, one of their key players, who was one of the top assaulters as well, PMIS, Mayhem does look lacking that gunpowder. It looks like they are not able to have that gunpowder, and they're not confident enough to rely on the gunpowder, and that is the reason why they need to resort to those passive moves, holding ridges, playing on the edges, trying to enter the last circle with 0 kills or without engaging in any fight.
Well, whatever is happening in that camp, hope they get everything sorted out, because they have been eliminated in the 13th position. That means we are now going to focus on the teams that are still alive. Now, Reckoning, they had a good game last time around in Erangel. I think they did end it with 7 kills or 8 kills, if I'm not wrong. And again, a 4-man squad right now, not wants to shy away from a fight. And by the look of things, they are way out in the zone. 489 meters away to be exact, and with a minute on the clock, they now have to make a frantic dash, and they do have vehicles at their disposal, so that is definitely going to be something that's going to help them out, as far as scouting out ahead goes. But you got to be careful. It is Sanhok, and well, the enemy is going to be everywhere, and by the look of things, they are going to be traveling by the southern edge of the zone, and they might actually make it towards the eastern side. Remember, that team particularly was coming in from Sami, which is at the western edge of the zone. So that's an interesting route they're going to take. And on our screens right now, Optimum Esports. Now, they were up against Reckoning early on, but since Reckoning moved due south and this team is heading north, I think they might just meet each other towards the very end once again.
Yes, and let's see, once again, the situation which I mentioned early in the game, Sanhok teams trying to cross out in the open. Up 50 does have a good chance, but then they have Nox officials straight up in front of them. And Nox looks like they could have 4 easy kills waiting for them. I mean, like, no, these guys are so close, and I think UP50 does not even know that Nox are right in front of them. I think Slay God must have spotted them. Yes, they did. And those shots coming in, UP50 is caught. They won't be able to make out of this one, according to me.
Well, let's see if you're right, because I think Adi and Mamu are definitely going to be in trouble. Sarkar and KSR are the only ones who can actually provide some assistance. Meanwhile, Sarkar is laying down some shots, and wait a second, Nox is going to be the one who gets knocked out first. Well, I think the caster's curse has been broken as the team is now pushing in. Adi has been caught out. He is definitely going to get knocked out, and he is going to bleed out and die immediately. Good to see the water. Now, Slaygod is trying to make sure he gets a revive on his teammate. Sarkar with the grenade. Is that going to be sufficient? I think smokes are being deployed. He wants to go for that revive on KSR. They did lose those two members. Oh, Sarkar does get a spot on a member of Nox official. That means now Nox are going to be in a world of trouble. However, it looks like Team Insane, with help from Nalayk, are going to come in and play Spoil Sports as well.
Right, I mean, like, UP50 did have a good chance, but then eventually we saw Nox official having that complete advantage over them, and I think Sarkar also might get spotted. But look at the way Nox got, decimated by them. I mean, like, two players trying to back off. If KSR gets healed up, he might not just allow the players to come back. Reckoning doing a great job holding that hill high up. They must have heard those shots. They know what's coming for them.
Well, Sarkar gets up and finishes Octopus just as he had reached his teammate Mayank on his bloodied knees, but it was not enough. He's going to go prone over here. He's going to shoot them from under the house. That is what I would do right now, but it looks like he is running up ahead. He wants to get that right flank, and with this, I think Mayank is going to get knocked out. He does have the teammate coming, the enemy coming, I beg your pardon, but he goes down. Mayank goes prone, but it is not going to be enough as Sarkar is going to come out on top, and with that, a little bit of an upset over here. Looks like the caster's curse has been broken as UP50, against all odds, managed to survive and wipe out Nox official. Wow.
Right, and let's wait, watch, and see how teams want to, really react to this circle, because this circle definitely puts 4 teams into a lot of trouble, namely FS, Stalwart, and 2 others who was the other side. But look at the way all the advantage Insane have on them right now. I mean, like, if they're able to convert this, they can get a lot of kills. LF Punjabi picking up NY Mafia. It's all up to Prince if he wants to convert that kill. But then Mafia is, I guess, a little downhill, so Prince might not just be able to connect easily. But a good game that we are heading towards, a good end circle. Dominator trying to pick a couple of, but he did not take any shot. I'm not really sure. I think he could have spotted Punjabi, given the fact that he's far away. Also, Dominator has the chance to move in, maybe.
I think they do have a chance to move in, but ID Prince could be in a little bit of a tricky situation. He is going to get spotted out right now because his teammates are far away from him, and Dominator, in fact, is heading in his direction, while Prince is going to pick a fight with LegStump at one side. Now, it's interesting to see that, 2 members of Team Insane are in the compound down below. They're making sure that they hold that, but I think, this is going to be dangerous. I think he saw him. Dominator definitely saw him. Yes, he did, and with that, Team Insane's IT Prince is going to be wiped out from this game. What a blunder. He was way too far away from his teammate to be effective in any way.
Right, and now let's wait, watch, and see how NY and LF and LS want to react to this. Because by the looks of it, LF does have a good spot. I mean, like, we did not discuss LF at even once in this game, but right now, the base, I mean, like, it's all about the circle's grace. The circle entirely shifted into their favor. We're down to 7 teams, 18 players, but look at that last circle. I mean, like, Insane and why we saw them holding high up, and teams have this uphill task of moving uphill, like, very literally.
They do have an uphill battle, quite literally. And, Nalayk, they have a good spot because they have that little bit of a flat spot up top on that hill. So they can actually use that to their advantage. But they've got to be careful of Lord Fam. Now, Lord Fam is the team that is going to be, thorn in their side. Insane, on the other hand, can be quite content with their spot. In fact, Povali at range gets a knock on a member from LegStump, who are quite far away, about 150, maybe 200 meters out. And I think they are going to be reduced to a 2-man squad. But now Insane have to be careful because they did have, I do believe it was, there we have it, FS down to their southeast, who are going to be moving in soon enough. The question is, are Povali and Spraygod aware of the fact that the beachfront is not necessarily secured? Meanwhile, Syringe is rattling off bullets in VR1's direction, knocking Rage, and he is going to be indiscriminately firing through that smoke, hoping that a few more shots connect. I think he spotted out VR1. Punk whips out that weapon, and with that gets another knock. I think that's the end of VR1 Esports. I think they might just be survived by 1 member.
Yep, and right now looking at the last situation, where LS is looking to moving towards a good game in this one, and they finally seem to have gotten the touch. Look at Syringe going ham on Poptop, and he does a great job taking that pick off, moving in Syringe, Artemis, Dungy, all the three hot guns for LS surviving. Artemis is pretty low, but he gets healed up at the right time. Syringe still has an a very difficult job to move in, and the direction where he's moving in, he has Insane standing right in front of them in LF Punjabi, Lord Fam. Finally kicking in. Remember UXP talking about this team at the very beginning that we want to see LF in action.
We do, and in fact, I did mention that, Nalayk are going to have to be content that LF is going to be their first opposition coming in from the right flank, and looks like they are paying the price as Dominators, last man standing. Also, we have another team exiting right after this. Now, a wonderful outing by Futurestation, mind you. They did go out in the 6th position, but they had 9 kills. Meanwhile, Insane Povali is living up to his name as he gets a knock on Dungy, which means Syringe is the last man standing for LegStump. Now, Punjabi from LF, 4-man squad. These guys are out for blood. Artemis is going to be knocked down courtesy of Povali as well, which means LS, not LF, but LS are down to 1 last man. In fact, the play zone is going to come in and secure the kill for Team Insane, who suddenly find themselves on the top end of this game. Now, they have a lot of kills. However, the zone is going to be instrumental in seeing whether they're going to have to move out of that compound, because if they have to move up on the hill, well, I think Lord Fam are going to be the dominating force.
Right, and I think Lord Fam does have the advantage here, but LS did a great job. I mean, like, finally they made it to the top 3. They must have raked in a decent amount of points, but LF definitely going for the chicken dinner. I don't see Insane Spray God and Wali. Let's not talk about it. I mean, like, we have seen Blitzkrieg that they almost getting clutched by one of the guys, so we never know, anything could happen. Although it's a 3v2 situation right now, let's see if Wali and Spray God are able to convert it into that favor. Oh, that nade was pretty close, and Punjabi missed taking Puali down. Another net getting lobbed, but yes, this net picks up, and this is where this boy would move in, but they need to be careful because they don't know it's Spray God providing cover. Let's see if Spray can pick a couple of, because it's only 2 men moving in. One of the guys, XP, if you missed, LF from LF is doing heal battle outside the circle.
He is, and in fact, I think he might be moving in as well, but now can Spray God? No, he can't. I was just going to say, can he do something? He can't because, well, he might have been hiding, but you have windows in the house. Unfortunately, you can see through windows, and you can also shoot through windows. That is what happened, and with that, Lord Fam are going to be walking away with the chicken dinner in Game 2 in Sanhok. Again, not a lot of kills. I think they might just end the game with 4 kills in total, but again, they held the position. They played the migration part down
I mean,
to,
like this,
100%, and that's what got the job done.
Yeah, so circles forming on them. What can they do? I mean, like, XP, what generally happens is that when you are, hanging around at the 12-13 spot, and you get, if this would have been a top 3 or top 4 team, looking at the current standing, you might have seen those position converting into kills. But the problem is these teams are still, at the verge of elimination. They are still fighting very close with those teams, so they might not want to take a chance. But still, UP50 Sarkar getting in those nice 5 kills for his team.
668 points of damage, and that is going to earn you the most valuable player title from this game. Now, again, I'm just going to go back and say one thing regarding a few big names. I like the fact that Futurestation ended the game with a good number of kills. So did LegStump. I do believe they had 8 or 9. So 8 kills to their name. So, again, now finally Sanhok is a map that, again, we know that these players have good gun skills. So that is done and dusted. We get it. They can shoot, they can kill. But the question is, can they do the same thing on the bigger maps where you have to be a little bit more tactically adept? But we're going to have to wait and find out. Meanwhile, we have the top 5 players from match 2 on our screens. Sarkar leading the way with Punjabi in second, 4 kills, 396 points of damage.
Right, and looking at the way these teams are approaching the fight, I mean, like, we are moving towards a very uncertain kind of PMCO, every new team coming up with. I mean, like, there's no consistency. If you see, apart from a couple of teams, I mean, like, Blitzkrieg is being super consistent. Apart from this, no consistency. The team performs good in day 1, they suck on day 2, and they are somewhat mediocre on day 3. So, I mean, like, it's so inconsistent. But I think that inconsistency is something that we like and we love about PUBG Mobile as a whole.
Yes, we do, and we also like looking at stats because, I don't know, we're just creatures like that. We love numbers, don't we? So we had a total of 50 kills, 8 headshots, not a lot of smokes and grenades because it is Sanhok and, Mother Nature is going to provide you that cover, and only 1 opponent going down to a grenade kill. So boo for that, because we want to see some more explosions taking place. And in fact, this grenade kill took place towards the end. We did see quite a few knocks, but no one was confirmed with a grenade, right? But the next map is going to be quite different. It is going to be Miramar, so it's complete opposite as far as size goes, as far as the terrain goes, as far as the tactical prowess goes. So now I wonder if Futurestation and LegStump can get as many kills as they did in Sanhok.
Yeah, I mean, like, that should be the case where these teams actually go ahead and get those kills, because these teams are the more experienced one out of the bunch. And if you're talking about difficult maps, then I mean, like, obviously you want those experienced veterans to step up. But nice to see Lord from actually getting those 7 kills, 27 points, not bad. And also insane surviving until the very end with those 7 kills. LS finally getting a double digit.
Finally getting a double digit, and finally making it to the top 3 as well. So that is going to be a big boost for them. Meanwhile, AZTECS, the winners of the last game, well, the second place finishers of the last game, they came 14th. Team Mayhem, again, same place, same thing. Basically, it's the same situation in different maps, and it's not once, not twice, not thrice, but about 4 or 5 times that we've seen that happen. So there is definitely something awry as far as the IGLing or the tactical maneuvering that is taking place in that team. That definitely needs to be reworked. And maybe they might take the suggestion you gave earlier. Forget the IGL, just get 4 assaulters and go ham.
Yeah, I mean, like, that could be, that could be the way out. I mean, like, and it's actually working for them. This is the best day LS is having in this tournament. And let's take a quick look at the overall standings. Actually, Blitzkrieg, obviously, the lead that they have, it's not enough. Like, even 10 games aren't enough for teams to overtake them. But let's talk about MVP as well. These two teams definitely doing a very good job that they've already done. But nice to see Insane seeping in up slowly. But it all comes down to, when we have equal ground for comparison, which I feel is not right now.
It isn't, and of course we're going to see even Stevens ground as far as the finals go later on, because we still have 3 more days of action for you. We have today and we have 2 more days after that, so it's going to be a lot of chances for these teams to make up on lost points. Meanwhile, let's have a look at the middle half of the table with XSpark in the 13th position, but mind you, they still have a few games in hand, so they're going to have that chance to make it up. Team Mayhem are going to drop down a couple of positions as they slip to the 11th place with 90 points, but have a look at what stands out, their kills. Just 23 kills. That is pretty much below average as you consider, all the teams that are above them, they have a good 10, maybe 20 point lead as far as skills go. So that is a department they need to step up in. Team LegStump finally stepping up and moving up a spot to the 19th position.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just a matter of a couple of more good games. I mean, like, if LS ends up with a good day 4, I mean, like, they could definitely bounce back and pave their way up. I mean, like, they've got the direction they need to move in. This team was lacking direction. This team was lacking I won't say the will, but it's more about the direction where they had to move. And right now, they have finally gotten the right path. Just hoping that they continue doing the same and glory awaits them. That's it.
There you have it. If they continue on that same path and they build that momentum and they make sure that they deliver the same thing like they have, it's a high order. Let me say it's a high order for any team, because, just to be super consistent throughout and have that same kind of results day in and day out, it can be quite taxing. But that is what champions are made of. And if they want to be crowned the champions of the PMCO, that is what they are going to have to do. Anyway, so 2 games down. We are halfway through day 4. I can't wait for the next one. And you guys better stay tuned. It's going to be in Miramar.
Definitely. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to be right back after a short break because we have 2 more games to go. And I'm super excited for it. See you guys.
He's not tired today. Hello and welcome back to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2020 Indian Edition, sponsored by Oppo F17. Now, let me just ask you a question, all of you watching. Do you like playing PUBG Mobile? Of course you do. That's why you're watching this. Did you know that only on 5 minutes of charge, you can play an entire 35-minute game of PUBG Mobile on the Oppo F17? Now, Thug, that is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got a chance to get my hands on the Oppo 17,
You'll get one. You'll get
but
one.
the way you have mentioned it, I mean, I definitely need to get my
It's
hands on
intriguing.
really very soon because I'm always on the go, and it's good to have a game rolling at just under 5 minutes of charge. But XP, we are moving on to the next game, Miramar. How excited are you?
Ooh, it's going to be exciting because it's going to be completely different. Forget the randomness factor, which is still going to be a part of the game, but it's all about how the teams rotate, migrate, and tackle the new circles. Now, that is where we see a lot of casualties take place in Miramar, especially, vehicular manslaughter during rotations. But we're going to wait and see what's going to happen in this game as the plane is finally up in the air over this beautiful desert. Seems like a nice, clear day for killing one another as we fly from Campo Militar all the way over Landrea and, pretty much splitting the map in half, a little inclined towards the northwest, I beg your pardon.
Right, and looking at the way, I mean, northwest, it's definitely inclined towards the northwest. But what I'm seeing here is that we might not have too much of difficulty because, if I'm not wrong, among these two groups, I don't remember teams are trying to move towards Puerto Paraiso or Valle del Mar. Valle del Mar is somewhat reachable, but Los Leones, it's a very big compound. We generally have two teams going toward Los Leones earlier, but I'm not really sure after the disqualification which teams go to Los Leones. I think apart from that particular area, most of our places are reachable, although it does come down to the circle until the very end. Let's wait, watch, and see if do we have some hot drops, because what becomes monotonous for me is that teams stop taking this hot drops after a couple of days of the tournament when they definitely get a chance to read how what other teams are doing.
That is true, and it's all going to come down to where the first circle is going to form, which I think pretty much should be centralized. And it is actually. That is, well, it's a little bit to the south, but it is pretty central. And by the look of things, no one is really heading towards Los Leones, as all the teams are content just landing, in places around it. A lot of teams are going in a congregation towards Chumacera. I see UP50, Optimum Esports, and in fact, Reckoning also heading in that direction. So we might see some vehicular manslaughter right at the beginning as teams are trying to find vehicles to run each over with. So let's wait and see if that's going to happen, as Optimum are going to be frantically searching for some weapons, as I'm sure they can see a few members of Reckoning land in front of them. So they are aware of the fact that, they have teams nearby, as Critic, in fact, might just take a few shots, but he realizes that, what, the distance is a bit too much, and my UMP is not going to do a lot of damage.
Yep, and let's wait, watch, and see how Optimum goes against RG right now in the game. We do have some close drops. I would not call it a direct catch drop, and I think we are a little bit glitched here with LS Joker, WSS, his RP points flashing right on top. Must be have been the plane leader, proudly flaunting his Royal Pass. Actually, what do you think of the Royal Pass? I mean, it's a different conversation, but are you a fan of those virtual appearances? I mean,
can I be completely honest?
I mean, it's fine.
No, I mean, I do love the Royal Pass, but there's a lot more things that I do love about the game. I like the killing each other more than what the clothes that we're wearing, but it is definitely flashy, and you do get a lot of goodies from all those purchases. So if you are contemplating in buying a Royal Pass, by all means, go ahead. It is going to be good value for your money. However, be careful about it, because once you get on that train, it's a little bit difficult to get off, but we'll come back to that later. As have a look at LegStump in close proximity to Team Insanes. We might just see them face off again with Futurestation just to the northwest in El Pozo. Now, these three teams have, tangoed with each other in the past, in fact, in the last couple of games as well. So it's going to be exciting to see if they are going to do the same over here. Meanwhile, if you have a look at Picardo, we do have a couple of teams coming in contention, trying to fight it out for that location with Nox Official, who seem like they have a good stronghold. Sorry, not Nox Official. UP50, right. They seem to have a good stronghold with Nox Official trying to come in.
Yeah, I mean, Nox Official is pretty much split looking at the position they are holding. They're trying to hold some off Picardo and in Graveyard kind of a split, which is like a very big split, and it's Miramar. It's not easy to reach out to your teammates if you're distanced by more than 100 meters. Generally, you have a ridge, you have a very bad terrain that you need to cross if you want to reach. So I mean, like, if they not saying that they should get into trouble, but if they have a push coming in from a four-man squad, then this boys definitely can be a lot of trouble. And UP50 definitely having a very strong hold towards Picardo. XP, in your opinion, which part of Picardo do you think is the best if a team wants to hold it? I mean, like, if you see that you have the next 5 circles forming on Picardo and you took a drop, which position would you be holding if you are placed at Picardo?
Now, of course, whatever I say is going to be my opinion because that's not going to be the right answer. It depends on the situation and depends on the circle. Now, I'm a big fan of the 5-story building over there. The simple reason is, A, you can get a good vantage point on anyone moving in close to you, especially if you're a sharp shooter and you post it up on the roof. Or you can be instrumental in, thwarting a lot of attacks. And of course, it depends on the caliber of players that you are playing with. If someone is comfortable holding a staircase down, you're going to expect a lot of grenades coming in. But there are players who are good at CQB. So that building kind of comes to my mind because you can be occupying the building at various different levels and you have a good 360-degree view on all sides. That being said, it does depend on the player. So if you want a little easier thing, I think I would still go for the 5-story building. And maybe those a couple of houses down on the left side of that building, they can come into contention as well. They can help you with extra angles. But again, it all depends on the players and the circle.
Definitely.
What about you? What would you prefer?
I mean, like, I think teams could opt for the L-shaped buildings towards the
motel,
towards the end side of Picardo. I mean, like, I haven't seen teams do it, but I feel that gives a good entry and exit point. My point is, would not want to get stuck.
I have a little bit of an argument with the motel though. The thing with that motel or the L-shaped building is you have too many openings, you have too many windows, and you only have 2 floors to contend with. Right. Plus, if you are up in the open, you can get shot out from any building or the cliff behind you. So that is a little, again, it depends on the caliber of the players you are with.
Definitely. I mean, like, that is also a very valid argument for the motel part, and I won't really want to argue on that. But right now, still no casualties, a very slow-paced game. Teams just trying to figure out a good, fine spot for them to hold. I see teams moving in. STALWART Esports in front of us. Let's see Nox, Texas trying to pick them off.
He is trying to get a few shots, but doesn't seem like he has the right scope for the job. Now, the holographic is good scope at close range, but at this distance, unless you are really good, you can, it can be a little dicey. I myself would have probably had my iron sights out in that case. I'm not a big fan of hollow sights, but that is just one man's opinion. But it does look like STALWART Esports are aware of the situation, and Damon might be in a good spot to lay down some lead in their direction. He does have that Mini 14. He does have an 8-time scope attached to it. So he is in a good position to make sure that he keeps them at bay. But the thing about Nox Official is that they are split up. And if they want to try and make a move on STALWART Esports, it has to be well coordinated because King Ankit and Slaygod are at one end, while the remaining 2 members can provide some amazing cover from high above. But the question is, are they going to do that? Are they going to move in as a team or are they going to back out? And by the look of things, Ankit and Slaygod are backing out and regrouping with their boys.
Right, and I mean, like, that's a good, fine choice to make right now. You're just 8 minutes into Miramar and you don't really want to engage such early in a map which generally extends to 27 minutes in the faster map settings that we use in the esports scenario of PUBG Mobile. Right now, teams are still trying to rotate. Look at FS, the boys are... Okay, whom did Flex spot? Because right now, okay, he spotted a vehicle, and actually the vehicle is smoking, so might have seen someone rotating, and FS might just want to make a couple of moves. Look at LS, 3 vehicles to their name, and LS look... The boys from LS, they look so confident today. I mean, like, look at the way they are moving. They are, 3 vehicles trying to stop, take those shots. I mean, like, this is the kind of thing that is about those seasoned players. They just needed one touch.
They do need that little bit of a push, but they are currently east of Monte Nuevo, and this particular spot is a good spot. They've got a nice little dip in which they've got their vehicles. They've got a shack in case they need to fall back behind some solid cover, and they have a pretty decent lay of the land. Not the highest of positions to be in, but a position that'll definitely do. And have a look, I see a few vehicles going in for the... Oh, Artemis, I just saw something as you open the scope. We actually have vehicles moving in from the back. The question is, are they going to be heading their way? And a Grotza in that drop is beautiful. I mean, I've said this before, that weapon is a shredder at close range. And Thug, you might remember this. It cuts through butter like a...
I forgot.
Hot
We had
knife.
the, okay, I thought we had this discussion.
I loved that little awkward silence, and I love the fact that
I
you're
was
so
like,
candid
okay.
at the way you said
So I
I
mean, like,
forgot
hot knife
was
was a very,
genuine.
very, very, very genuine casual call. I thought, did we have a discussion? Is there a behind story behind it? Is there a backstory that I've forgotten? I need to know
You know
about it.
me. I just like talking.
I was like, no, XP, please don't do that with me. You know, when
That
I'm on
was
the
nice.
casting deck,
I like the fact that it was so sincere. It was actually so awesome. The
like
way you
if you
like
would have
that.
seen me on the camera, I know you can't see me now, but I saw you doing that, and I was like, sorry to disappoint you, but I don't remember shit about it. But we have
It's
Optimum
all good.
trying to move in at VR1 Deuce is has been picked off, and Raze could be a lot of trouble. Oh, look at that! Good shots coming in from Razor. And okay, so here are something to talk about Optimum. Optimum got in Sex Leo in game one, I guess,
And now he's not there.
yeah, and they had a bad game, and now they again got in the old players. I mean, like, why would you experiment for that one single game? Either keep the entire. If you think that the roster did not work out on day 1 and 2, get a new roster for the entire day. I mean, like, this is a very
And
this is a cycle of trap. It's a trap basically. You know, the more you dig, the more deeper you get into that trap of losing.
true, and you know you can't really gauge how person is going to do just based on one game. So you know, had that maybe it was just not his time. Maybe a lot of factors can come in. Maybe he was caught out by surprise. It could be n number of things. But well, it is what it is. And now they have one opponent who is running away. VR1 Deuce was lost earlier, but now they are going up against Lord Fam. Now Lord Fam, boy oh boy, they are probably one of the teams that is good at map control, and the fact that they scramble to the zone pretty quick and they have good cemented positions is one of the reasons why they won the last game in Sanhok. But the question is, they are a four-man squad and we are still in the early stages of this game. Can they make it to the end? Because up until now we've only had one man who's gone down, and that is Deuce from VR1 Esports. But I'm sure as the circles are going to be imploding in on themselves, action is going to be aplenty for all of us.
Right, I mean, like, obviously, you know, Miramar does move towards a very hot-headed and intense, hot game until the end. But let's talk about MYMXP. MYM once again doing what they are best at, holding the edges. Now, they're trying to approach from around water treatment, and they do have FINTOX Esports right in front of them. Let's see if MYM are able to convert or not. But how, like, do you favor the kind of gameplay
Now,
or the mindset MYM has in this tournament?
Now, that is exactly what I was going to talk to you about, because you just said they are doing what they do best, playing at the edge of the zone. But unfortunately, they are not doing the best right now because there are other teams who are holding the edge of the zone a lot more successfully than them. So, I mean, they are known for that. But again, it's like, you can only have a few tricks up your sleeve.
XP, if you remember.
I totally agree. But the fact is, they've had many lineups, right, Thug? I mean, these players worked together at the beginning. Then they scattered. Two went this side, one went this way, then they came back again. So they brought a lot of experience with them, right? So I would definitely want to see something different from them. But I like the way LegStump are right now hovering like bloodthirsty eagles above Futurestation, trying to get a few knocks in. But the question is, even if they do get a few knocks, how are they going to go down? But it looks like they have a couple of players on standby, just a little behind them. And talking about that, Joker does light up Pokar, but that is not going to be enough as he falls back into cover. But coming back to MYM, they've got to redo their whole tactical thing because it is not working for them, and they're not the best at what they're doing.
Right, and right now LS looking a lot of trouble. I mean, like, they do have a good opportunity as they find LS FS players out in the open. LS versus FS, but LS definitely won't be able to close in on this one, looking at the fact that LS is holding high, and that they don't want to close.
Oh, he gets the revive.
Just have a look.
He gets that revive. Yeah, frag OP.
Oh, he got the revive. I thought I completely left that part. I mean, like, okay, he's done. Let's talk about the remaining part of the game. Oh, he got the revive, and he might just get a chance. I mean, like, it's a second breather. They would just want
a chance for redemption.
Yeah, chance for redemption. I mean, like, they are four-man. One of the players is able to make that angle, which they need to, move away. They have bought out the smokes. Let's see. I mean, like, it makes no sense. Why is Pokar trying to extend towards the right? He will eventually fall down if he tries to take a fight or even takes a peek.
That is a possibility. Plus, have a look at the zone. They are outside the zone, so I think the best position or the best situation for them should be that they should start moving out, get in their vehicles and start reversing to the zone. Maybe take a little bit of a southern migration so they avoid shots from LegStump. But have a look at the map. I beg your pardon. Looks like LegStump could be in trouble as FINTOX are heading in hot right south of Power Grid. The P of Power Grid. Have a look at that. FINTOX is coming in hot. Now that could be detrimental for LegStump. Meanwhile, Optimum are picking a fight with the opposition as we join Nalayk, and Mafia gets a knock on a member of AZTECS. VIP is rattling off shots towards that vehicle. AZTECS Mighty, in fact, is joining in as well, and Mafia goes down. So we have a nice little fight going on over here between AZTECS and Nalayk, and looks like Nalayk are on the upper hand.
Yeah, I mean, like Nalayk does have an upper hand, but right now Nalayk might just want to heal up their players and continue their rotation because they are holding towards the edge, and circle closes in like 10 or 15 odd seconds. A6 are pretty well split, so it could be difficult. But here we have a situation once again. MYM are caught for a change at the mid stage of the game where they are caught against one of the good sides Optimum. Let me see how MYM reacts to this aggression coming from Optimum side.
Also, this time they don't have a single rock for cover. They have an entire compound, so they can be split up. They have a lot of concrete to help them out. And I like the fact that Marav is on a little bit of a flanking position. He's high up on that cliff behind them, so he can be instrumental in, just picking out a few players as they try and rush in. But again, we're going to have to wait and see whether they're going to engage right now, because the zone is going to be pretty much instrumental in seeing whether they have to move out. Now, if it moves north, they are good, and it does move north. I thought it was going to go south, but it does move north. So again, that stalemate is just going to be a little longer. Meanwhile, FINTOX are picking a fight with VR1 and FS at the same time.
Right, and looking at the ways VR1 is trying to move in, they are in a like a three-way situation. They have LS in front of them. They have FS Frag will be getting eliminated from LS Artemis. Let's see how FINTOX, VR1 and Optimum react to this overall situation. It's like a lot of teams pretty close to each other, definitely, because it's the fourth circle that we are entering into, and 14 teams, 49 players around it.
It is still a lot of players, which is, of course, it's going to be awesome in about a few minutes. But now Optimum's critic, he is trying to get an angle on Immortal, and still have a look. Manav is in a good spot. There we have it. There he is. Now this guy can be, he can be the wild card. He can be the jack of all trades right now, because he can actually be in a good position to lay down some lead. But Lord Fam are going to find themselves eliminated in the first position. So this is another trend we are seeing. The winners of the games are getting eliminated in the first position in the consequent game. The same happened with AZTECS, and now the same has happened with Lord Fram. So I wonder if coming out in the first position is a curse. But again, a chicken dinner is something that everybody wants. Meanwhile, UP50's Addy is trying to blow up that vehicle containing two members of STALWART Esports, but it is going to be unsuccessful as the bullets are at range. And, well, he might get it done this time. He does get a second chance.
Reckoning of the uphill task of moving towards Insane. Insane do have one player down. That gives Reckoning an advantage. But look at the way Spray God and Shockweaver split. Spray God might get a opportunity to cover their teammates as the back of IT Prince and Pugali. Yes, and it looks like they might be successfully in backing off. Reckoning might as well want to make a right or a left movement while they want to enter the circle. 13 teams, 42 players still in the game. This one is not gonna go down easy on a lot of teams.
It is, and as STALWART Esports, in fact, going to be knocked out in the 13th position with 3 kills to their name. Meanwhile, New Boy T is trying to lay down some shots at distance. Insane Shockwave opens up as Nox officials. Mayank goes down. Explicit gets a knock on Muizopi. As Sarkar is still doing his thing, and they are still tormenting Nalayk as they get a knock on VIP. Now, there's a fight breaking out. MYM are coming under fire, not just by Optimum Esports, but by FINTOX as well, who are now moving in. Now, Optimum Esports is in a good position. I hope we see that fight soon enough. But now, UP50, have a look at how they are moving out of their building, and they are still going to be trying in gatekeeping, but Insane Spray God with an insane spray, courtesy of VSS, is going to get a knock, and Somraj and the others are going to be helping as well. Somraj, in fact, gets a knock and a finish on Skeleton. That is a fight taking place elsewhere, but it looks like Spray God is the only man who's currently, with a very uncharacteristic weapon, laying down the hurt on the team in front of him. And UP50, they do have those smoke grenades for cover, but they've got to be careful because Nalayk is in a good spot to backstab them.
Yeah, but Nalayk also has the circle pressures keeping in, and Nalayk need to be on a roll. I mean, like, they need to keep moving forward. But UPKSR, I think, did a very minute mistake, very amateur mistake of coming out in the open. If there would have been a good player in front of me, UPKCR was done, and he actually eventually falls down. It's all up to Dominator to pick off UP50 ready or eventually go down. But Insane coming up with a crazy third party. Look at the way Insane are placed. They have the entire circle for themselves.
They do. In fact, right now, they do have 1 or 2 compounds. I wonder if that's going to be the same situation as the next zone comes in. But FINTOX are going to be eliminated in the 11th position. And Dominator from Nalayk is the one that is actually carrying all the weight off his team on his shoulders. But he's under fire. And with that, he is going to be bowing out as well as he gets taken down, courtesy the play zone, or was it Spray God? It was Spray God yet again with his insane VSS doing all the damage. UP50 Esports are following suit. That was a grenade. Oh my goodness, that shook me. Mana with a massive grenade wiping out Optimum Esports from this game. MYM are finally waking up and stepping up to the plate.
One more time, we see MY making it to the top 6. Will it be a make or a break situation for them? 4 kills already, but down to 2 men. Reckoning and Insane are definitely at a very strong point right now. XP, if you see 4 men to their name, and
love that circle.
3v2v1 situation, and Insane have the complete advantage to them. But there's a big but. They are surrounded by a lot of bridges, if I'm not wrong. A lot of team might just want to surround Insane. It all comes down to the individual caliber of Insane players to hold each angle that they are given the permission to. But here we have a very tough situation for MYM. And
go for the guy who stays stationary.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'm sorry to cut you off, but why didn't you go for the guy who was stationary and shooting at him? Well, they got him now, but still, I thought Mana would be the first one to go down.
Yeah, I mean, like, this guy would have already gone because he did commit to going down. But what a lovely spray coming from Manav. He went for a prone and took that instant, I mean, like, good reflexes we're going to see from Manav, and this gives Nox a chance to move in. MYM, once again XP, it's once again for MYM, getting eliminated with not too many kills.
Now, they were in the open, and to be honest with you, there was no way out. I think that was the only situation that we saw them. But well done by Manav to actually, put up a little bit of an effort and showcase that he still has some cojones. But meanwhile, they have been eliminated. And again, you said again and again and again. We use the same words, but forget that because AZTECS Satan is on a little bit of a rampage. He might be the last man alive, but he is the Dark Lord himself as he gets a knock on King Ankit. Now, Nox official, they might think a whole team is coming towards them, but the smoke grenade is definitely going to be confusing. And AZTECS Satan is in a good position to move in. Ooh, one grenade could be devastating, and in fact, he does take it out. Can he lob it to perfection? Maybe it should have been timed a little bit better, but he is laying the pressure on them. Slaygon is coming in from the left. He is going to go right up against him. AZTECS Satan gets up, shoots, gets the knock, but he gets taken down by Futurestation. It's not Nox official to take him down. It's Futurestation who can take down the mighty Dark Lord, and with that, AZTECS are out of this game in the 5th position. Wonderful performance by Satan for getting his team this far.
Yes, and at the same time, good game for Insane as well, finally getting that touch back from day one. Insane 5 kills. They have a good control over everything. FS might try to move in, but look at that lovely nade lob towards IT Prince, but he somehow finds cover. goes out, takes cover in the wall, behind the wall. 4 players from Insane. Look at Puali and Spraygod. They are staying put. They know there is a team right behind. Meanwhile, Insanity Prince successfully picked up Winter Storm. Stormraj would unfortunately go down. And Clowny did a great job picking off.
That was a good kill.
RG is finally getting that touch back as well. Like RG is back on track, and we might get to see a different reckoning here on.
Now have a look at the zone. See, Insane have 2 compounds under control, so they still have control over here. If it goes either way, they are still going to have. The question is, where is it going to head to? Is it going to be left? Is it going to be right? Futurestation eliminated in the 3rd position. A good outing with them. It's now all down to Team Insane versus Reckoning, and the circle has shifted due east. Looks like Shockwave and Povali are going to have to move towards their comrades, but IT Prince and Spraygod, they pretty much have that compound on lockdown, and now they have to be patient. Ooh, look at this position. Oh, he fell down. I think he definitely should get back up because he can do a lot of damage from that rooftop. And wait a second, that grenade might just be a little too short. That is definitely not going to hit its mark. But they do kind of have to move out now. Shockwave and Prince can go on a little bit of a southern rotation. If you have a look at the map right now, they can go in from the south or, in fact, head straight for that tree. Now, you see that little bit of unevenness next to the tree? They could go for that because Insane, Spraygod, and Povali could provide cover from the other end. But again, this is going to come down. It can go either way. I like the fact that Shockwave and Prince are now moving back because, you know, when you have concrete walls, I think it's much better than smoke grenades, right?
Right. I mean, like, obviously, concrete walls are any day better than smoke grenades. We have had situation in the past where smoke grenades are not enough because, you know, when you have a 4, like right now, Insane has a 4-man advantage. If RG even tries to use a smoke wall to push in, Insane would go ham with their sprays on the smoke randomly and might connect a couple, which, you know, when the players are of such caliber, when, you know, I've seen this thing, whenever I see competitive games, and if a player is spraying through a smoke, if he connects one shot, he somehow manages to figure out where the player is moving next.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, you know, the spray is so accurate, the player would go down. If one shot of your opponent connects you, just understand that you are done at this level of gameplay. I mean, like,
I've had my fair share experience of killing people in the smoke myself, but I didn't have an assault rifle, my friend. I had a bolt action, but that's a different thing. I don't want to do anything like that right now. We'll talk about that later. But yes, you are right, because, you know, once you get those shots, you kind of get an idea of where the player is, especially if there are trees around. Now, if I see a smoke grenade next to a tree, chances are the enemy is hiding behind the tree, right? So I'm going to line up my shot as close to the bark as I can, little shot loose, and, you know, sometimes luck is on your side and the shots connect. So again, it's a good thing to have an idea of your terrain. If you know your topography very well, I think that is half the battle won. But have a look at how Spraygod and IT Prince are sneaking their way in, but they do get spotted out again. That bridge is going to be working for RG in their favor. This is going to be absolutely catastrophic for Team Insane, as Spraygod is going to be taken down, and this is going to be a 2v3 situation. Now, Povali is up on the roof, so he is instrumental in getting the job done, but Insane's IT Prince's grenade, in fact, is going to help them out. Exotic getting knocked out. He gets knocked out. A 1-on-2 situation. Clowny versus Povali and Shockwave. What do you think is going to happen here, Thug?
I mean, like, you know, Clowny is very experienced to pull this off, but it's not very easy as it sounds. I mean, like, he put off Wally. What a great... Almost insane. Shockwave went down, but look at that lovely nade coming up from Shockwave, but Shockwave would definitely heal up, and this gave Clowny an opportunity to take the ridge, and it's all about a couple of nades. And yes, he knows what he's doing. If he pulls this off, it's like doing that.
The nade is downstairs! He realized that grenade went downstairs. Shockwave almost went into that grenade's path, but now he does the right thing. He's like, you know what, that is going to be a lot of nading on me. He gets out. What a wonderful play by Clowny, getting that knock up top on Povali, but I think he is going to be picked up. But this is the moment that he can actually relocate, because the last guy who was alive from their team was behind them. He cannot give that information anymore. It's finally down to a 1-on-2. Shockwave and Povali versus Reckoning's Clowny. Is it finally a time for Reckoning, or is Team Insane going to show their insanity and win this game? It can go either way. Both teams are in good position. Smoke grenades are coming out. I think Shockwave just might get spotted out in case he decides to get up again. Tug, I think it can go either way. It can go either way because the Team Insane, they have to move inside the circle now.
Yeah, and look at the way Team Insane are clustered. They are going in. They have no clue that Clowny has flanked towards the left. Shockwave might be too open in the too much out in the open. Yes, he makes one, and Clowny might just be able to show us the best game that we have gotten to see. Some more shots, Clowny, and that's gonna be GG for Team Insane. He picks it, and Clowny comes up with that chicken dinner. What a crazy game, stepping up for his team like a leader, being a front runner, and what a game, the best game, hands down. I take a bow, Clowny, what a game, I take a bow, but what's a game that was XP, unbelievable stuff. And that too against Team Insane, it was not an easy job, not at all.
I mean, wow. We've said this before. Clowny is a goddamn anchor for Reckoning, and the way he just performed right now, that one knock on Pavali started this all off. Had he been knocked out over there, it would have been GGWP for Reckoning, but he is definitely going to be up there as the MVP. I mean, salute to this man. 7 kills, 895 points of damage, but it all came down to that clutch moment at the end. The way he got that first knock, moved his position, dodging that one grenade which came in, if you remember, Thug. That grenade could have ended it all.
Right.
Dodged that, zigzagged his way, went into cover, but that flank after that, that was brilliant. And the fact that Insane still thought he's that side, but then they get shot from this angle. I mean, wow. Wow.
Great.
Just
Great.
wow.
I mean, like, he did a great job. That smoke, the smokes were coming out from the opponent's side. So, you know, those smokes actually flanked to the left. The opponents thought he will blind him, but they did not realize they gave him an opportunity to flank towards the left. And what a great stuff coming from Reckoning Esports. 7 kills to their name. 3 headshots. Clowny with 895 damage. And Exotic to stepping up for his team with a 610 damage. Good stuff. I mean, like, RG and Insane, they had it their way entirely throughout the entire game.
And, you know, to be honest with you, both these teams have been firing on all cylinders right from game one. They've had good games. But, again, wow. Team Insane, I think they just let this game slip through their fingers. They had it all. And, well, that's what complacency is. When you know that, you know, all right, it's 3 of us up against one player. It's like, we got this. It's in the bag. But one tiny mistake can lead to catastrophe. And that's what we saw right now.
Yes, and you know, like Reckoning must be so proud of their boys. 34 points to their name, a much deserved chicken dinner. 14 kill chicken dinner, Insane also doing a very good job, finally getting that bounce back. 23 kills, 23 points, and Futurestation being so consistent XP. I mean, like, I'm in love with consistency.
They've had a good day today, especially today, and yeah, they are finally making up for all the misgivings in the past. And Team Mayhem, 4 kills, better than, well, all day, and 6 placement points, 5th position with 10 points. VR1 Esports exited a bit earlier, but they do have a squad wipe to their names. But Reckoning, boy, oh boy, those 14 kills, these guys, I'm telling you, it's the time for Reckoning right now. Lord Fam, again, we've seen this trend. We might see this happen in the next game. If Reckoning is the first team to be eliminated, I am going to be a firm believer in Superstition and all that hocus pocus, which I don't believe in, but it is just too much of a coincidence. But Lord Fam, the winners from the last game, do go out in the first position. Team LegStump, they had a good first game, but the next couple of games have been subpar.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, Team Insane did have a bad game, a bad start and a bad last day, but right now they look back on track. So I believe they should not have too much of a problem. And yep, I mean, like, you know, it's the way it was until towards the end, how it fared, and we had Clowny going against. I mean, like, it was a very clutch moment, if you see.
It was indeed, and I like the fact that we kind of had an option to, you know, have a look at that again. But oh boy, I mean, the way he snuck in and he took the right man down first, and then you know, Shockwave went down. His teammate couldn't do anything. This is what, you know, video game endings and movies are made of. That final moment when, you know, the hero triumphs over the antagonist or whatever. But of course, all of them are heroes. They have made it to the PMCO Semi-Finals. So we all know that these teams are capable of a lot more. And well, it is on full display with us. Reckoning with the 3rd win of the day with only 1 map remaining.
I mean, like, a great day of PUBG Mobile overall. I mean, like, we have had good games, good plays, and finally those teams stepping up that we wanted to see. And Insane moving up to the top straight again, averaging almost at a 13 points. Not bad, not bad. 52 kills to their name, the highest fraggers, but obviously Blitzkrieg is having a rest day today. So let's wait for those Hungry Lions to bounce in tomorrow. But then today it's all everything's going Insane's way. But nice to see Reckoning out of nowhere, you know, seeping up to the top. They have had a good day today, and 2 chicken dinners to their name also.
Two chicken dinners, 82 placement points means very consistent. 51 kills, tied for second with Blitzkrieg, just one shy of Team Insane. So I'm telling you, something's changed because these boys are going guns blaze and, well, it is working. I think that is the new meta right now. Just go all out assaulting, just get those kills because, you know, when you are playing defensively, you tend to overcompensate for a lot of things. So I think that is the advantage that they're taking on. Team Mayhem climbing back to the 10th position, finally making it to a ton, 100 points to their names. Lord Fam slipping a little bit, 96 to theirs. So again, a little bit of, I don't think it's a hit and miss situation with that team, because Lord Fam definitely have, showcased what they made of in the past. So I wonder what they're going to bring to the table next. But of course, with one game in hand before one of these groups is going to have to take a break, it's going to be instrumental that they get as much of a lead as they can. That is going to be the thing that they're going to go for. So again, expect a slower Erangel is what I'm saying, because they're all going to go for those placement points, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like, definitely, this could be the chance for a lot of teams to ponder over their day. They have some time in between where they can just see what went wrong in the last 3 matches. From team who haven't been able to come out with those points, there could be two things: either they go crazy and either they go lose their sanity and they just try to go after every team, or they play so slow that we have things taking a very different turn. Like the tempo that has been set today, that aggressive games that we're getting to see today, we might not get a chance to witness it again on the last map. Rightly pointed, XP, and I'm super excited to see how the last map unfolds, because this PMCO is spicing up real hot.
It is hot and sizzly, and I've said it before, it's like one of the best TV shows now. We've got all the drama that you need. So, just stay tuned, and when we do come back, make sure you guys come back as well, because the last game is going to be exciting. I feel it might have a slower start, because all the teams need to make sure they get towards the end, get those placement points. But I also feel we might have a lot of clashes as far as drop spots go, and well, we're going to have to wait and see what happens next. But we have Reckoning on our screens, and just take a moment and have a look at Clowny's involvement. 4,143 points of damage, 20 kills, almost just one kill short, but this guy has been dragging his team forward, and in fact, the entire team has been doing good.
Yeah, I mean, like, the entire team, right? Like, they did have a bad opening week. The first week that we were casting before this stuff changed in the PMCO, they did have a bad week. But right now, this boy seemed to be like getting the touch back. We had RG face those problems where they used to push in, and ultimately all came down to one man. But then we also have those good games, if you remember that particular game where Taz, I think there's a guy called RG Taz, who lobbed in some really good nades on MYM in one of the Erangel maps. This happened in the opening week. So they had their parts, they have had those instances, but then, we are all here to see more good games from them. But for that, we'll have to hop on to a quick break before we are back for more action in the last game. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back once again to the PUBG Mobile Club Open Fall Split 2020 Indian Edition, sponsored by Oppo F17, where you can play a 35-minute long PUBG Mobile game with just 5 minutes of charge. After all, you have to flaunt it your way. My name is Angad Singh Jail. I go by The Experiment, and with me is Animesh Agarwal. You know him better as 8-Bit Thug. Thug, final game of the day. What are you expecting?
I'm expecting to see, like, I do have contradictory opinions. I'm expecting to see a very hot-headed game where teams just pounce on each other. And actually, I want to see that. It's not about what I'm expecting. I just want fast games. I love fast-paced games. And let's quickly hop into the game. Straight up, Georgia Bull to Milta Power. A very well and straight-up flight path cutting from the center of the map. And let's see how it unfolds.
That's a good plane path. That is like something you see in your classic games and you're like, yes, every single place is in dropping distance and I can go anywhere I want. You know, if I want a hot drop, I can head to Pochinki, Georgia Paul. If I want to play it safe, you know, I can even glide all the way to Kameshki. So a lot of options for all the teams, and looks like a few teams are already heading down to their favorite spots. As you can see, MYM along the western edge, the western beach of the island, heading straight down. But the circle is going to be the tricky part. And wait a second, we have the Sosnovka military base in its entirety in the first circle. So all you military base action fans, rejoice, because we might see some action down there finally. And again, it's like my calls, my prayers are falling on deaf ears, because I do want to see a bridge block. I want to see one vehicle being blown up on the bridge. Is that too much to ask for, Thug?
Like bridge block. I think I'll tell you
one vehicle.
Yeah, I'll tell you why we might not get to see that, because there's no team at military. It would have happened if you would have Team XSpark playing today, the team that goes to military base repeatedly. They would have definitely, they could have set up any kind of a bridge block, 3 vehicle, 4 vehicle, no vehicle, hidden bridge blocks, any kind of thing. But right now, looking at the way the zone is, the circle is very interesting game it could turn out to, because no team in military, only one team, Lord Fam at Novorep. Let's see how best they can capitalize this one.
See, the thing is, I agree to the fact that since there is no team on the military base, you wouldn't see a bridge block. But if the second circle heads down, it is definitely going to be a possibility. But let's just focus on the AZTECS right now. Now, again, they had a wonderful game one. By the way, disclaimer, I am saying this right now. If Reckoning is the first team to be knocked out in this game, let me just say, voodoo is a real thing, and we all need to have a talk about Superstition later on, because apparently it's working out. Only if Reckoning are wiped out in the first position. Thug, do you think Reckoning is going to be wiped out in the first position?
Reckoning getting wiped out in the first position.
It's happened. It's happened every single game. The winners in the consequent game have gone out first.
It's just 3 minutes and you're already asking me if Reckoning gets wiped out at the 14th spot. Give them a breather. They
use the curse. Use the curse. I do get it. They are in the top 3. Of course, luck has a little part in the game, but Superstition and all that aside, take it from us, it's not real. I'm sorry if I'm going to ruffle a few feathers, but it's all in your mind. But anyway, right now we have Nox official Slaygod trying to lay down some shots, and you know what? He's not happy with that. He's like, you know what? None of my shots connected. Let's go and chase them down. And I think Critic 07 is going to be reading that information to his team that, you know what? I am in hot pursuit, and in fact, someone is chasing me down, but it looks like they're letting them go because, of course, loot is going to be more important, and positions are going to be a lot more important in the beginning circles.
Right, rotations and positions are definitely very important in the beginning circles, but I believe loot could be a priority. But at the same time, looking at this particular circle, which is extending towards the southern side, we know teams will have to cross over. And now it all depends upon how these teams would want to cross over. We have Optimum trying to make a rotation. Nice to see, movies from Initiative Esports finally getting an opportunity to prove his worth, although not completely, he's not been able to completely redeem himself. Still a long way to go. But let's hope the best for him.
Absolutely, and talking about Initiative Esports, they've actually loaned out quite a few players around. So I think I like the fact that this kind of mentality is finally coming in the Indian gaming community. That we can all have a healthy transfer of players from one place to another without a lot of infighting. But again, it is a pipe dream, but forget that. We're talking about the game right now as a lot of teams are heading for the military bridge. Oh, this is going to be exciting. We're going to have a few vehicles blow up for sure, as not one, but 2, 3, 4, 5 teams are going to be in super close proximity to one another. And those teams are Optimum Esports, VR1 Esports, Nox Official, UP50, and Team Insane, with a couple already crossing the bridge.
Right, I mean, like, and you know, we might get to see like some more convoys trying to cross, but depends if Optimum crosses earlier and you know tries to get that bridge camp, and I think Critic is holding
Let's
the
do
bridge.
it.
Is Critic
Let's
holding
do
the
it.
bridge, and it's gonna be a mess. I mean, like, Nox Mayhem does not need to make that mistake of holding right now. He should have just pushed in. So actually, you know, there's this thing. So what happens is that when a team sees that there's a team in front and a team behind you trying to cross the same bridge, but I've generally seen teams don't really want to get down with their vehicles and there's no bridge camp. Like the bridge camp situation gets averted. What Nox Mayank was doing right now, he saw that VR1 is trying to cross, an opponent is trying to cross, and he must have feared that they would go ahead and bridge camp. Now Nox stopped their entire rotation, which might in turn, you know, lead to a very late rotation for them, or maybe a very bad positioning from them later on. So this is all about experience. You know, if you would have watched more competitive games, you must have realized it. But then it all depends upon how much study you have done.
Also, you know, adding to your point, Nox officials have to be careful because they do have a lot of teams coming in. Now, since the circle has kind of shifted to the south, there is a possibility that more opposition is going to be coming up from behind. And if I'm correct, last I saw Team Insane was a bit north to them. So, you know, they could be expecting a bridge block, but they're kind of putting themselves in a pickle as well, because even if they take that compound north of the bridge, you know, I'm talking about that compound and then that one blue house on the hill, even if I think they have taken that blue house on the hill, Team Insane, have a look, they've moved across the street and the house, you know, opposite that house. So it could be problematic. And we have teams like Futurestation coming in as well. Meanwhile, looks like on the other bridge towards the eastern aspect near Novo Repnoe, FINTOX were trying to lay down a block, but Lord Fam Skiru has spotted them and is trying to pepper them with a few bullets.
Right, and I mean, like, you know, if we wait, watch and see the way LF is trying to approach this fight entirely, let's see how these players try to fare, and also AZTECS looks like in a lot of trouble. STALWART and Robin did spot them. XP STALWART is having a real bad day today. I haven't seen STALWART come out on top in any of the single games. And you know, given the way STALWART played in the opening of the semi-finals, I did expect a little better of them, but I think changes in roster are not really helping them a lot. I mean, like, for every team.
Absolutely, but have a look at something interesting happening. Well, they do get a kill over here, but something interesting happening in that fight back there was Lord Fam Skiru is still looking at the bridge, but what a beautiful rotation by the members of VR1, the way they kind of came up on the side. So they could actually, by FINTOX, I beg your pardon, what a wonderful rotation. Now, they could be in a good spot to actually lay down some lead, but I think they have been finally spotted out, courtesy of Punjabi, who was a little bit further back. Lovely positioning by both teams, because Lord Fam's Kiru is in the house, but have a look at Hotshot and Punjabi. They're out in the open, probably about 250, maybe 300 meters due west, providing some angles that I'm sure, well, even we didn't expect that. I'm sure even FINTOX didn't expect that.
Right, and let's hope, wait, watch and see how LF tries to go about this entire situation. We have LF already holding a compound, but FINTOX also did have a very good region over there. I mean, like, they can push over LF whenever they want to, but look at King Ankit, who's being so patient, finally connects a shot. Finally takes a shot but does not connect. FS still kicking and now more cautious, so definitely will avoid those openings and try to be more cautious. But look at the way Team 12 is closing in towards the left. These three teams, I definitely fear for them. FS, Nox, and I guess it's Team Insane. They have not been able to cross over, and it's gonna be very difficult here on. But interestingly, there is no bridge camp. If one of these teams dare to cross now, they will have a chance to take those easy 7-8 kills.
Also, the best thing is that they don't know that there's no bridge camp. So there's going to be a lot of hesitancy coming in from those three teams, and they might make some mistakes, which could be ending up heavy. And have a look at Reckoning right up top, coming in from the blue zone. I think they want to make sure that no superstition kind of helps them out. They do not want to go out in the first position. But if they do, we will have talks later. Anyway, they are coming down in the zone. They're still out in the blue. They're going to make it without any issues. But the thing is, there's not a lot of space on the north side of the Novorupnoi bridge because there's not a lot of positions to move around, as Milta is not really in the zone. So again, let's see what they are going to do. They might try and go a little bit east of Milta, maybe pick up a boat at the beach. That is one plausible thing they could do. They could head to the farm and pick up a boat from there. So I think boats might actually come in contention. Meanwhile, FINTOX over here, they kind of have a little bit of a upper hand over here as far as the compound goes, because LF Skiru is finally backing out and is going to regroup with his team. Meanwhile, VR1 are in a good position as well atop this mountain at the observatory. Pretty central in the zone and good lay of the land around them. Plus, they really don't have any direct competition or any threats right now.
Yes, and looking at the way teams are and total RG, where's MYM? I just want to see, okay, MYM. This time took a very different route, and I was like when I noticed RG is being scored, I was thinking if MYM is still trying around pre-Moscow or Ferry Pier, but then I realized this circle was something that definitely would have helped their cause. They took a boat, very fine rotation coming from MYM. This generally does not work, but then looking at the place they drop, definitely is a good option for them. Insane, however, still hanging around outside the circle. Insane are trapped. They are trapped. They don't know what to do here. I mean, like, they need to either make a dash. But I don't understand why would Insane hold on to that place for long. They could have, one of their place could have extended towards Ferry Pier. Maybe try to figure out if they can find a boat and try to rotate. What do you think, XP?
As well as Futurestation, look at them. They're also pretty much jacked up over here. As Pokar and Somraj are behind over there. I did see one of their members trying to exit a little bit towards the left of our screens, and that person is Winterstorm. Now he's gone to the gas station trying to get a few angles, but I think at this point, all they're going to do is get in their vehicles, you know, say a few Hail Marys and just drive through, just put their foot on that accelerator and hope against all odds you make it through, because now it's going to be problematic. And Nox official, they have a vehicle too, but now they're waiting for Team Insane to make the first move, as is Team Insane. Team Insane is waiting for Nox official. So this is a stalemate that is going to be detrimental for both teams, and I think both teams are going to come out of this bruised and bloodied. The question is, how many will survive though?
Right, I mean, like, for all the three teams, I'm super concerned about them. I don't think they have a chance to make it, into the circle. But interesting thing is that a lot of teams are biased towards Novorep and the southern region to Novorep. I mean, like, no team is trying to hold the coastal region or maybe the up north of military base. This looks like a very different mindset, and we need to see where the circle closes in. I mean, like, okay.
Ooh.
Nice
all right, that's helpful.
Some real good IGLing coming in from a lot of teams there. I mean, like, you look at the weight, there's only one team in UP50 who is around military base. All the other teams are going to a Novorep. I mean, like, okay, this could have been something that I have missed. I mean, like, it could be a meta in this kind of a circle that we got to see.
That is absolutely correct, and I'm just going to come back to this fight over here. Now, Futurestation, what they're doing is they're going to rotate around Team Insane. They are going for the boat play. They are going to hope that they find a boat near Ferry Pier, and if they don't, well, it's going to be troublesome. But it looks like Nox official, they realize Team Insane were picking a few shots at Fefes, and they are going to make their way through. Mayank is going to be the first one to go through. Now, Slaygod gets in that vehicle. That Jeep is going to be started. They better have some good amount of fuel on it, because the clock is ticking. One of their members did make it through, and of course, he's going to relay the information that, you know what, guys, come on through. The coast is clear. There's no bridge block. So that is something that all teams should get in for. Nox official are going to be heading down. Somraj is going to be a daredevil over here as he goes in for a little bit of a squad wipe against Team Insane, but Spray God is going to activate quicker and gets the knock on Somraj again. I have no idea why that move was made. Very amateurish coming in from all these they are professional players, from these experienced players. Team Insane now, they are holding back a bit too long. I think now is the time they need to skedaddle out of here.
Right, I mean, like, and obviously, I mean, like, all the three teams, all the two teams are done. There's no way even FS is surviving.
Nox have made it.
Yeah, Nox made it. Nox made it because I think, actually why Nox made it, there was a reason. FS got engaged with Insane, and, they had this quick chance. So every team had got that opportunity to make out. Like, Insane also could have escaped while the zone was there. It's not necessary that Nox, the spray from Nox would have, killed all four of them. Maybe they had to go ahead with one casualty, but then that's fine. It's way better than the situation they are in right now.
For kills.
That's
right now, Futurestation, they're like, you know what, we're in the blue, forget it, let's just get 4 kill points, isn't it?
I mean, like, obviously they need to do that, they need to maintain that consistency. Picking off one, confirming every kill minutely, and Insane survives. Will Shockwave and Puali head straight off, because still the third circle, mind you, the damage is not that high. If Insane makes a dash very quick, they might just be able to make it.
Well, the curse has been broken, so voodoo is not real. Forget all your superstitions. It's broken. It was just a major coincidence. But we're going to come back in the action over here as VR1 has a nice position high up in the mountains as they're taking shots at Optimum Esports. But again, coming back to that fight between Team Insane, blunder after blunder after blunder, and MYM Immortal. He just has two enemies come really close by. They've spotted him. In fact, one goes down. Is the other one going to go down as well? He jumps, but Immortal is just a bit too quicker. 2 kills in quick succession, and he's like, you know what? Thank you for the vehicle, thank you for the cover. I am going to take that, please, and thank you. Now, wonderful play by Immortal, but his teammates are a bit too far off. And have a look at the position on the minimap. They are spread way too thin.
Right, and Novorep is pretty stacked right now, but then the circle shift, it's entirely towards that hilly region, towards the extreme edge of military base. A very weird circle actually. Like I don't recall seeing such an extreme a circle that is ending towards the
the
southern end of the military base. I mean, like, it's a pretty exciting circle to see and see how teams have prepared themselves for such kind of weird situation. I mean, it's a very different circle. Right now we have a 3-way fight, FINTOX, Nalayk and STALWART in a face-off going in Novorep.
They have a little bit of a face-off going here. In fact, the face-off is going to become a stalemate as all the teams are now, they're like, what, the time is running out. About 15 seconds on the clock. We need to move into the zone. And, well, it is a bit far out. The question is, how do they get there? I think Stalwart Esports might be in the best position to, go and make sure they blockade, maybe go prone on that mountain and just gatekeep all these teams coming in. They can actually pick out quite a few teams. But I'm concerned about Team Insane. I wonder if they've survived. I can have a look at the survival status on the right side of our screens right now. They are down to 2 members. They did lose one in that skirmish, so I think they lost one in the play zone just a while ago. But the question is, have they made it inside? We are going to have to wait and find out. Meanwhile, Explicit in a fight with NY, I beg your pardon, right now, as VIP and Mafia are going down. Ryu is trying to get a little bit of an angle on Stalwart Esports, but Sarung is going to be in a position to cut him off. Meanwhile, Robin is still rattling off shots in Nalayk's direction, and Dark God, in fact, is going to go down courtesy of Explicit. Ryu is in trouble. He is on a sliver of HP, picking a fight with Sarung and Robin, and that grenade could be devastating. And have a look at that. Team Insane getting wiped out in the 12th position thanks to the play zone.
Right, and looking at the way teams are faring, I mean, like, this is a very tricky circle to be in. It's not gonna be easy for a lot of teams to rotate, especially the way they decided to hang around at Novorep, expecting or presuming the zone to be around that, but the zone did play its part and shifted entirely. Interesting map this one actually, because Insane AZTECS up 50 Futurestation. All the teams that have been performing well today, getting eliminated at the first top, gives other teams a chance to definitely come out on top. And interestingly, LS are again looking so strong with those 4-man lineup. Same for Reckoning. So I mean, like, overall this game of Erangel looks like a table turner.
It does, in fact, and we were just mentioning earlier that Stalwart Esports have been dormant and they've been quiet, but they have 5 kills to their names, 3 men still alive as they make their way to one of the final circles, and it looks like they might have a competition with FINTOX as they try to move in, but we're going to join Optimum Esports Bash. Now, Optimum, again, they've had a good game. 4 kills, all 4 members alive, and looks like Bash has got an idea that there is someone behind there, and that enemy is LegStump. Now, LegStump also, quite surprisingly, they have made it to the end with 4 people alive. It's going to be Syringe, Artemis, Joker, and Dungy OP who are still going to be in this game. Wonder if they are going to do something. Now, MYM, if you remember earlier, they did lose 1 member, in a skirmish earlier on. But they are still a 3-man squad. Again, characteristic of them. They're not going to pick fights. But are they going to get in the same position? But LF Kiro over here, wow! What? That was that. I mean, what? That was just beautiful the way Clowny rushed in. Clowny once again, Thug. He is quick. This boy is fast.
Right. I mean, like, Clowny is,
wow.
He, like I said, he is that, he has it in him. I mean, like, he never got those correct set of teammates to be able to push Clowny on top. I mean, like, if you have a star performer, that we call that person a star performer for a reason. You need those good 3 support players, which he got this time in the form of Exotic, Tez, and the other players, Noob, Whitetube, and others that are supporting him. And finally, it's good to see this old veteran being able to perform according to his skill set. Right now, Sarang, even this game is going good for Stalwarts. They already have 5 kills. They have Stony, Sarang, and Robin still going on. Look at the way stalwarts have rotated. If I'm not wrong, they were caught somewhere near the coast and they did a very good rotation. They did actually a very good job trying to come in, and they are inside the circle very good at a very good spot. I mean, like, they just have FINTOX towards their right and Nalayk dominated in front of them. They might just be able to get in a couple of more kills.
You know, talking about dominate, I think this is one name that sticks out for me as far as the Nalayk go, because I see him as the last man standing plenty of times, but now he is in the thick of all the action, surrounded on all sides by the enemy. He does have that smoke for cover, and is he going to get enough kills? In fact, he gets a kill on FINTOX's explicit, so he might be a one-man, but he is a one-man army, and now he is going up against STALWART Esports. Now Sanhok is the closest in contention to him, but I think he might have an idea what Robin is, because he is giving his footsteps away, firing indiscriminately in the little thickets around him, hoping that, you know, a couple of shots connect and those crosses appear on your screens. But Optimum Bash says, I have other ideas, as he is going to enter the playing field as well. Tries to get a knock, but Clowny, the man, the anchor for Reckoning, is going to be stepping up to the plate once again, and Dominator scramble around the rock, jumps up. However, Stony from STALWART Esports is going to react just a little bit quicker, gets that finish. And with that, Nalayk are out in the 9th position. Decent outing, survived till there by Dominator. Now, RG, Reckoning, we were talking about them earlier. Clowny, again, instrumental. He is picking a fight with Optimum, and you know what? They are shredding them to pieces.
Right, and what a good gameplay coming in from Optimum. I mean, like, this game, we have all the good names, the names that we wanted them to come out on top and fight. So, you know, it could go either ways, like we said. But look at Clowny. Oh, I for a second I thought it was Clowny who picked up the Optimum guy. Because on my feed, actually, I had like the part of the feed coming in front of me. But then Exotic goes down, and that could be GG for RG, as they are caught at a little bit of a tight spot XP. Yeah.
Oh, that second grenade is actually good. Clowny could blow up right now. Clowny, ooh, he takes a little bit of damage, but Clowny and Zero are going to be moving into the zone. Now they're going to go prone, but they can get caught off courtesy of Bash, who might be able to spot them as he's trying to jump up and down, trying to get some vision on them. King Ankit with that Car 98, still using the bolt action, gets a headshot, while his teammate is going to get another knock. Now LS are going to be in a world of trouble as Joker goes down, and it's King Ankit's Car 98 bolt action yet again. We want to see some of that, please, but LS seems like they are in trouble. Now, my question is, where is MYM? Because LS is in the same position MYM usually finds themselves in. But RG0 just lobbing those grenades without any hesitancy as he's trying to get a few knocks here and there. In fact, that one could be good. And Razor does take a lot of damage, but he's lucky to be alive. He has not gone down, meaning Optimum Esports are still in this game, but Clowny is going to be going in. He's got to be careful because LegStump is at one end, but I do believe Clowny does get that domination. He gets those grenade kills, and with that, Optimum Esports out in the 8th position with a few kills, and now Clowny is going to be rattling bullets in STALWART Esports directions as well.
Right, I mean, like, RG did try to hang on until the very end.
He got the finish.
Yeah, he got the finish, and look at LS once again. Nice to see the boys finally getting up and kicking butts like this. And what a crazy game. LS making it to the top 6 once again. Nice to see. But XP, I want to see how many kills MYM have, because I have missed those numbers. And I want to see what kind of situation they are in, because once again, they are into the last circle, but they are once again in a bad spot if they don't have enough kills.
Oh! That was devastating. A little bit of an exchange of grenades over there. Cloak knocks out Deuce. Deuce knocks out Cloak. Immortal coming in. Can Punk hold off against the horde of enemies coming in towards him? Although the horde is just 2, but there's one player called Immortal. I think he's gone down. Punk is now on a one-on-one against Manav, and Manav is deciding to bring his vehicle in. That is going to be a little bit of a move, but he is going in for the revive because there's enough smoke to kind of help him out. He has gone prone. He's going in for the kill right now. Punk behind the blue vehicle, and now Manav behind the shack. I think Manav is going to be reviving his teammate Cloak as we speak. Immortal can be, yes, he does go up ahead. He wants to give some information, which he does. Is that a smoke coming in, or is that a grenade? I think it might be a grenade that does go off. Now, VR1 Punk is in a tricky situation because it's going to be 3-man MYM up against him. I like the fact Immortal is coming in to give his position away. This is it when Manav is going to jump from the left and probably get the shot done, but Punk takes him down in record time, and now he is going to go up against Cloak. Cloak versus Punk. Who is going to come out on top?
Yes, and VR1 Punk once again trying to move in, but Cloak got better of him and somehow made that clutch, got that clutch in, but still XP. I'm not happy with the way Mayhem performed. Given the reason it was a 3v1 situation, even Immortal trying to extend.
Why so hesitant?
Why hesitant? I mean, like, you are two men just pushing. Why are you coming with those nades? And why it was a one-man push when you had the no intention of reviving Immortal?
All right. We're going to have to make sure that Thug calms down. I think he is going to be having a lot of words with M by M. Of course, that's the joke. But yes, I mean, I do feel your pressure right now. I mean, why are they making such silly mistakes? But Reckoning, what a wonderful game by them again. Third position,
yes.
but 10 kills. And now it's Team MYM Tenet Cloak up against a 4-man Nox official. And this is how you push. They are going in. They know where the enemy is. And King Uncle is going to go in. If Cloak gets a few knocks, I'd be surprised. He does get one knock. Almost gets another. But with that, Team Mayhem with the best positioning finish so far.
Yes, and I mean, like, this. Let's see how this sets how well this sets the tone for the remainder of the 4 games that they are gonna have when we meet some other day. But overall, a good day, a good Erangel game, a very, very, very interesting zone, some really good rotations that we got to see. Actually, this game was more about experience coming into play. A lot of teams don't really know how to react to such weird zones. If you see the last circle, we had all those big names. They were performing well or not until this game. I don't really want to bring that up, but that experience of how to approach this kind of circles, that really came into play, and the teams, making it until the very end. Really a good stuff getting to see from the veterans. But Clowny 6 kills once again.
Yes, sir. The man on our lips. Now, this guy has impressed us since day one. What a game he had in the last game. And, of course, in this game as well. 6 kills, 510 points of damage. But victory was taken by Nox official, who, again, they played smart. They played slow. I've said this before, the way they rotated, the way they made sure they had the migrations on point, that is what helped them out. They were almost pretty much in the center of the circle, no matter where they were. And even if they don't have a lot of kills to their names, they weren't shying away from fights. We did see them in thick and thin. I mean, at one point, Thug, we thought they were lost north of the military bridge when they were tangoing with Team Insane and Futurestation.
Yeah, I mean, like, there was a couple of instances where we saw that, teams might fall down, but then that's what it is, this is one situation that all teams prepare for, and they do get very less chance to test that military bridge circle where they need to cross over and finally getting a chance in PMCO. I don't think I'm disappointed with the way this game fared. I mean, like, every team did a good job. Even Insane and FS towards the very end, that intent from FS to actually push on Insane and understanding the fact that, okay, we are done, let's try to get in those 4 kills. Good job. I mean, like, that's how you do it.
And it kind of worked out because Team Insane couldn't make it to the next zone.
Yeah,
they died to the
both
blue
the
zone.
teams got a balanced amount of 2 to 3 points. I mean, like, I think Insane got 4 points out of that game, but still FS also did manage to get 3 points if I'm not wrong. Looking at the way Nox played, they had the circle to themselves. 6 skill points, 20 placement match, nothing disappointing about it. But Reckoning, they are back. They are back on track, and they have made a point today that we are not going away. We missed it in spring, we are not going to miss it in fall.
Yes, sir. Well, like I've said before, it is the time of reckoning, and these guys are going to be heading up on the leaderboard. But Team Mayhem finishing in the 3rd position, probably the best outing so far. They did finish 2nd, but they do slip down to 3rd because, well, Reckoning just went ham on all the teams. But Lord Fam in the end over here in the 14th position. Futurestation bowing out early. Of course, we did see that little skirmish with Team Insane, and they only got 1 kill out of it, so not the best thing they were going for. Again, the 3 teams, they had a lot of options to get out of that situation. And Nox official, I do believe Mayank with the first man, he's like, you know what? I know that somebody's got to be brave to take that first step. He hopped into his buggy, drove in and said like, hey guys, you know what? The bridge is clear. Why don't you just come on through? Nox official go through, and they went on and won the game. So I guess that was a pivotal moment for them. Had they stayed back just a little while longer, maybe things could have gone differently.
Yes, and I mean, like, the way Reckoning have played, that's the reason we are seeing them on top, and that's a very decent lead that they have been able to manage, cruising in on an average of 13 points. We still have BlitzkriegXP to go. They have 4 maps and just 24 points to cover before they overtake Reckoning. But not meaning to take away the credit from the way Reckoning, Insane and FS have performed. Mayhem also seeping in slowly.
They are indeed. They've climbed up to the 7th position from the dense spot where they were kind of getting comfy over the last couple of days. And, well, of course, barring Blitzkrieg, Team INGL, and a couple of other teams on the next page, they still have 4 games in hand. So, of course, we know that one game can make it or break it. So they have a lot of options to, make up the deficit. But let's just have a look and see what stands out over here. Now, all the teams, forget XSpark, forget HEX ReaperX. We know that we're going to see some action from them tomorrow. Let's talk about STALWART Esports. Now, they did not have the day they were looking for, because up until now, they were a good team. But today, I think, I don't know, I just saw something different. But, coming back to Team Mayhem, I'm sorry to be beating around the same bush, but where's the hesitancy coming from? Why do they seem to have a mental block? There's definitely a mental block.
I mean, like,
the question is
this
why?
has been their approach always. Let me go back to PMIS. Yeah. So if you remember the PMIS, they had 2 different players, Shadow and Believe. I brought this point today at the beginning of our discussion as well. Believe turned out to
you talked about Believe.
Yeah, Believe turned out to be one of the top fraggers for the tournament. MYM is doing a good job. Cloak is doing a great job in taking his team till the very end. What they are lacking is that firepower. I have this word with Mavi always. Mavi says, my job is to ensure that my team goes to a good spot and makes it until the very circle. But after that, every player needs to perform their role. Their role is one. Hold your position, take those kills. What MI is being unable to do is not being able to take those kills. Even in this game, it was ultimately Cloak who had to take that leap of faith and go ahead and take of that player. And Clowny suddenly coming out of nowhere. I mean, like, he had 13 kills in the last 2 games. So obviously, 25 kills leading the charge for the overall kill leaders. Much deserving guy. 25 kills, 46 to 50 damage. Show. What a
that is insane. And of course, talking about insane, Spraygon is just 2 kills behind in second position, 23 kills for him. So, I love the fact that teams that were kind of written off before the semi-finals started are actually making all the waves right now. Because, we were joking around and we were actually kind of worried that what's happened to Team Insane? What's up with this team? Because you remember the first couple of days, they were nowhere. They were, in fact, bottom of the table. But it's good to see all these teams, even INGL, I'm super impressed with the MVPs. I mean, the MVPs dominated yesterday. And then we have Reckoning. And, they're all doing their bit. They're making waves right now, and that is what it's all about. They've got that confidence boost injected in them, and you can see it works wonders. Now, as far as the big names goes, soon the big names are going to be replaced by these names. Right. And, that's how we are. We are fickle people. I mean, we change trends every single day. So, let's not put too much pressure on LegStump, for example. I'm sure they'll bounce back. And Team MYM, I think they just need to up their firepower.
Yeah, I mean, the Team MYM does look safe when we talk about the qualification from semi-finals to finals. LS, the way they have played today, if they continue to do so, definitely they are making it into the top 14 and making their way into the finals. That's where the points reset and every team gets a new beginning. Now, a new beginning might just change everything because they know it's a do or die situation. Right now, it's not a do or die situation exactly, because if you don't make it to the PMPL, you sit idle for the next couple of months. I mean, like, for the remainder of the 2020 competitive season. So teams would want to avoid that tricky situation, especially the teams which are representing some orgs from India and different regions. They would definitely want to avoid that situation where they have to sit idle for the remainder of the competitive season. So let's see, XP. We still have 2 more days to go. I guess 2 more days of action left, and a lot more games, like 8 more games to go.
For the semi-finals, just to let you guys know, we still have the finals coming up after that. We got you.
It's a very long journey, and then we have the PMPL and a lot more crazy action to follow with. PUBG Mobile definitely coming up with the new era announcement that came a couple of days back. So keeping all that in mind, a long way to go. Yes, it was a good day of PUBG finally seeing LS bounce back, RG bounce back. I mean, like, I enjoyed this day.
I think everybody enjoyed it, and we basically have a new fan base. I mean, I'm a fan of a few of these players. I mean, I hope when I get to meet them or whatever, they still have that same values. But they did good, and well, they entertained us. And day 4 has come to a smashing success. It's going to be exciting to see what the next 2 days have.
Yes, definitely. And talk about the next 2 days. I think that's it from my end. 8-Bit Thug signing off alongside XP. See you guys. Take care. Stay safe. Stay home, and we'll see you in the next day.